Astronauts to the moon.
Ignition sequence start. 3, 2, 1.
Houston, we have a problem.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue.
What you're seeing here is a mirage.
This is a test. This station is conducting a test of the emergency broadcasting system. This is only a test.
Welcome. This is the Jeranism show.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. This is the Speaker's Corner, where we speak truth, Speaker's Corner. Yeah, they see you, we see you. Speaker's Corner, where the people get sent off, where real ideas and thoughts spark. This is on the Speaker's Corner. 3 minutes hit the spotlight. Speaker's Corner, where 3 minutes gets your mind right. Speaker's Corner, where the people get sent off, where real ideas and thoughts spark. This is on the Speaker's Corner.
Welcome one, welcome all. It's time for another Speaker's Corner. It is time for Speaker's Corner number 48, believe it or not. Pablo Sandoval. If you want to join the show, tinyurl.com/cornerism. tinyurl.com/cornerism. I do not recommend you ever type in tinyurl.com/Jeranism. Somebody thought they were being funny, and they took that tiny URL, and it's not what you think. I warn you. Don't do it. Don't do it. But you can do tinyurl.com/cornerism. That's how you join the show. You get your 3 minutes of fame or infamous, or infame. Infamy, I guess would be the correct way to say that. So welcome to the show, everybody. Hope everybody is doing well. I am myself. Let's bring on this screen. There we go. Beautiful. Let's see if my clock is working. Shall we? It does. It works. Let's see how everybody's doing in the YouTube land. Let's grab this and say hello to the chat. Hopefully everybody's doing well. They're not sleeping. Let's see here. We will be with you guys shortly. So hopefully everybody's well. I am not wearing pants. That's just the fact. It is still hot. You probably can hear the fan, but I am not going to turn it off. And you don't have to believe me for, just imagine I'm wearing jeans or something. You should be fine. Let's put this in here and see if we can get this working. Good. And say hello to the chat. And does that work? Let's go check it out. Let's see who we got. We've got Big Pine Sailing in the house. There we go. Oops. Let me raise this up a little bit. There we go. I'd like to think that those... Oops, sorry. Let's go to the correct screen, shall we? There we go. I'd like to think those boys will watch the debate and actually see their cog dis and intellectual inconsistency. I don't know what we're talking about, but maybe Austin's debate. Haven't had a chance to see it. Got no time for sleep, says Ace. Yes, never. We've got JJ Hempcrete Bear in the house. Guys, if you need a CBD rub, my wife used it this morning. I got to lather it on her neck. Don't get too excited. But yeah, and I also been putting some on my lower back. Had a little issue. Works great. If you want to get your own, jjscbdrub.com is the place to get that. It's all farmed by JJ. And he uses a no-till back to Eden gardening where there's no pesticides, no all that fun stuff. So check it out. Again, jjscbdrub.com. Also, THC, Truthers Hours of Comedy. Thank you for the hat. If you want to get your own, you can go to thcshow.live and then you just use coupon code Jaren420 to get yourself a THC hat, which is awesome. Let's see who else we got here. We've got, can I get back to the screen, please? Thank you. We've got Gary Wybanga, who just got gifted a membership by Justin Johnson, who is a great supporter of the show. Nelson says good stuff. Adam All Out was also gifted a membership. We've got, thank you, Justin, by the way, very much. We've got Crystal in that. It's not too much information. It's needed information. You must know these things. So I just warn women to stay at least 6 feet away from the computer screen. So we don't want any spontaneous conceptions, which has been known to happen. Hello, Melissa. How are you? Playing reality in the house. Witsit and Kai dominated as usual. That should be no doubt. Definitely going to sleep, but leaving a thumbs up on the way out, and also taking a free membership on the way out if you really want to get honest with that. Those no pants must be AI. Interesting. I plan on doing most of my sleeping when I'm dead. Sam, you and I both. Oh, time's up. Sorry, you got to go. Let's see if we got anything else. Hey, Jay, saw you were there handling some business. Okay, let's see. All right, well, good. Why does this thing keep coming up? I haven't seen that before. I'm in heaven. I get to hike every Tuesday here. Low-level Globers got smoked. Yeah, well, you know, they're the worst. I don't know where they get these guys from, but it's disgusting. All right, so nobody has joined the show yet. That's all right. We have something to watch. In the meantime, if you watched my show earlier, I just gave my opinion of the Nathan Jokley story. And again, I'm open to having that conversation where he apologizes for acting like a unhinged, I don't know what you want to call it, spazoid, really. But this is just one example, and I don't like to watch these guys' stuff, so this is why, not anymore. I mean, why would I watch it when they loved, what is this screen? Hold on, we got some issue here. Why is that happening? Do I have to turn this one on? We have an issue. Why is this? This says YouTube. Let me see the screen real quick. I want to figure out what's going on here. Why is this just a blue screen? What would be blue? Oh, here it is. This thing? Turn it off. All right. I don't know why my YouTube screen looks like that. Wait. Turn off the thumbnail. Now you get that screen. Isn't that beautiful? Let me bring this up here, and for some reason my YouTube screen is not working. It's just, where is it? Left, StreamYard, browser. Come on. Browser solo, pot solo. I don't have any. I must have got rid of it. All right, we'll add it again. And display capture. All right, we're gonna bring this over here. And I'll just show, so I don't watch their stuff, but you know, Brian Leakey from Flat Earth Tests, he likes to watch and conglomerate these guys' nonsense because, again, a lot of people just think, oh, you know, Nathan, they're on the up and up, they're always right. You know, of course, yeah, that's what they want you to think. But what they actually do is constantly change their opinion or change what they say when they get proven wrong or something. Then they just will never admit it. They just act like it didn't happen. So one of those is this video here. Let's check this out, and just to show you an example of it. So
men say. So it's to what men say. So science is going to say, science doesn't say anything, Jaron. You can.
So he's now telling me because I say science says something, and he's like, science doesn't say anything, Jaron. Don't you know this? But now listen to Nathan.
Complete clown. It doesn't have lips. It's a method. Science says water will boil as a direct consequence of heat.
Does science say that?
At 100 degrees centigrade at sea level or 14.7 psi.
Weird.
And then they'd say, okay, what is science proven? And they say water boils at 100 degrees Celsius.
No.
Which they've said 1,000 times. And now listen to QE.
Oh, we wouldn't say that.
They wouldn't say that. They don't ever say that water boils. Okay, gotcha.
Say heat causes water to boil.
That's what they changed it to after they had been proven wrong. That water does not boil at 100 degrees because it depends on the vessel, depends on what type of water. There's just so many things that go into it. It's not a proof of anything. Yet they had to change it to, oh, we would never say that. We say heat.
So how many times do I have to tell you that?
Oh, yeah, QE. I mean, this guy's just on the up and up. QE, Christian, honest as could be. How many times does he need to tell us that he would never say science proves anything or says that?
With your little hypothetical here that you dreamed up.
Oh, he dreamed it up? Did he dream it up, QE?
In between the funhouse mirrors between your ears is horseshit.
Oh, it's horseshit. Okay.
We don't say that.
Never.
So, we're just smashing it here with cowbell.
Mm-hmm.
So here comes some more. Scientists using the scientific method have proven. You ready?
Yeah.
Number one, water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit, 100 degrees Celsius at sea level, 1 atmosphere of pressure.
I thought you don't say that. You never say that. Austin dreamed that up in the funhouse mirror between his ears.
That's 101 kilopascals or 14.7.
I think I know who eats crayons.
PSI.
And then they'd say, okay, what is science proven? And they say water boils at 100 degrees Celsius.
No, we wouldn't say that.
They don't say that.
Heat causes water to boil.
Of course they would.
How many times do I have to tell you that?
Bunch.
So that would be science. Why on unholy hell would you tell us that it's open to change after the fact?
Because it is. Because
no, if it's proven something, Tom, it's proven.
Listen to what Nathan's saying. That when something's proven, you can close the book on it. Have you ever heard anything so ridiculous? That's not what science is. That's not what science is for. It's not what science does. And these guys want to go around and yell and scream and cause division and call other people names and put their faces in their thumbnails and use their names in their titles. It's just disgusting. And then they want to reach out an olive branch to say they're sorry. You got a lot to say you're sorry for.
It's not open to interpretation after the fact. It's proven. That's what...
Okay, so could you give an example?
Water boiling at 100 degrees.
Wait, but I thought they don't say that.
At sea level.
No, we wouldn't say that.
Oh,
we
okay.
would say heat causes water to boil. How many times do I have to tell you that?
Well, why don't you tell Nathan, who's got this video still up on his channel, the name of this video is Water Boiling at 100 Degrees, and he goes through the whole scientific process.
Proof is that the water boils at 100 degrees. That's not proof of anything.
So cool.
If heat independent
Well, now you're saying that water boils, you're putting it into the... I thought you never said that.
variable, then water boils, dependent variable, at 100 degrees C.
And this is not a true statement. Okay? Depends on what type of vessel you have it in. Depends on what type of water there is. Lots of dependent things that they just don't mention because they want to make science seem like it's super easy and you can just prove things. Science doesn't prove anything. Nothing. Period. Why are we arguing this point? Why would you give a man-made thing the power to prove things? Are they God? Is the person who's doing the observing, are they Jesus Christ? Because I don't think so. I think they're a very fallible human being. They don't know all things. Here, I'll just say this one more time. Just imagine for a second that water boiled at an extremely high temperature. Extremely high. And in 1700, it was very difficult for them to get to that temperature. So what if they did a test and they said, my hypothesis is heat causes water to boil. So then what did they do? They get a vessel, they put the water in, they get heat, they put fire, they put more fire, they do everything they can, but they cannot heat the water to the point of boiling. So they then proved, according to Jokley, they proved the null, which means that heat does not cause water to boil. Do you understand why that's not proof? Because they just never got the temperature high enough. So this is the problem. We can never assume that we know all parameters, that we can do all things, that we know all the variables. We don't know shit. Think of the light spectrum. We can barely see a tiny little percentage of it. So if we were doing testing around things and we can't even see it yet because we don't even know it exists, then did we actually prove anything? This guy's telling people that once you've proven it, you can never go back and do it again. That's not what science is. These guys are scamming you. Scamming you by changing what they're saying. Do you understand that they went from 100 degrees? We proved that it wasn't 100 degrees. Did they ever admit that? No, they just changed it to, we never said that. We say heat. You're making it up inside your head. No, we're not. Luckily, people, keep track of your nonsense.
Sea level. Null. If heat, independent variable, then water does not boil, dependent variable, at 100 degrees C.
Science proof is that the water boils at 100 degrees. That's not proof of anything.
It's actually the definition. By definition, that water boils at 100 degrees, meaning they set the number 100 at the boiling of water. It's not proof of anything. And it's just hilarious to me that we have to even deal with these guys. And then they want to act like, oh, well, I want to reach out to Jaren. It's better for the community. Yeah, you should have thought about that before you went off on a tirade about something so inconsequential. If I believe that science doesn't prove things, who cares? Leave me the fuck alone. I don't worry about you assholes. Don't worry at all.
If heat, independent variable, then water boils, dependent variable, at 100 degrees C at sea level.
Oh, I didn't know you showed that.
Independent variable, then water does not boil.
That it doesn't have experiment. It's not science because it's required. From Max Planck, experiment is the only means of knowledge at our disposal. Everything else is poetry.
Right, so today we're going to shoot down Maxwell's theory. From Professor Shankar again. So here's what you do to find out what's wrong with electrodynamics. I mean, Maxwell's theory. It all starts with the double slit experiment. So everything looks good for Maxwell till you start doing the following experiment. It's not an experiment, it's a demonstration.
Right.
Besides the fact,
It's not
an experiment, it's a demonstration.
But
so we have a double slit experiment.
No, what?
Demonstration.
Demonstration.
And knowledge requires somebody who knows. You gotta have it.
Anyway,
Plus,
I've had enough of that. Just wanted to point that out. Thank you, Brian, for keeping track of these guys because I don't feel like going through all their videos and listening to them change their story all the time. These guys had a show about, I don't know, a year ago or so, maybe it was 8 months ago, where for 4 hours They sat there and debated whether or not I was a government shill. Okay? It's like, give me a break. I'm a dude that lives at his house. Shut the fuck up. Stop being retarded. Let's go to the call line. I heard somebody jump in. Let's see who it is. Who wants to join the show? Let's see. How about John O. Estrella? I remember John. John's been on Monday Night Raw with me before. Oh, you just were on the screen. Now you're gone. John O., what's up, my friend?
What's going on, Jaron?
How are you?
I'm great, man.
Beautiful. Nice to have you on the show. Thank you for being contestant number 1.
Happy to be here, brother.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out. We can shrink that over there. No. All right, go ahead. Your clock will start in a second. I'm playing with something right now. Trying to get you on the screen for everybody. There we go. So, what do you got for me today?
Right back to the stars.
Okay, let's go to the stars.
Talking about how the constellations, the 88 constellations, are fixed in place in a big wheel in the sky, and how the moon, the sun, and what we call the wandering stars or planets, they all maintain a fixed circuit, and that circuit for the moon, sun, and planets or wandering stars is always within the zodiac belt. And the zodiac belt is just one little circle within the constellated stars that circuit every day. And I was listening to Dave's Q&A with the premiere of the film, and some of the other videos I've been watching, and I think we still need to see this picture in order to answer some of these questions much more authoritarian, like where we have some authority. I mean, you know, I agree with you on the science thing, by the way, where it's never settled. We're always just coming to know. We never really know.
It's a simple thing. It's so simple. And we can say, you know, the scientific method is the best method that we have, and it is the way you get the closest to the truth. But we never say something is definitively proven unless we're God or Jesus Christ, in which case we can make those declarations. I'm not God. I'm not Jesus Christ. I'm not making that declaration. Nathan Oakley thinks he is, though. So more power to him.
We can never get to the very, very center or the very, very surrounding outside, right? So we can't ever. I get why you stand where you stand, and we can never get all the way there, but we're always going there. You
Correct.
know, and
it's a never-ending journey, right? It's a path towards truth, but you'll never get there, and that's just because you can get as close as you possibly can. One of those things may be heat causes water to boil, right? Is it pretty much proven as close as can be? Yes, but should we keep our minds open, our eyes open in case something else is figured out? Always. It would be dumb not to.
Yeah, well, before I became what is so-called a flat earther, I didn't know that when you remove the outer pressure, you also create boiling water, right? So our minds can easily get fixed upon one idea, and just by having that idea, it can blind us from a lot of other things that may also be true, even if it is true, you know? So
correct.
When we try to put anything in a box, I think we end up causing like death in a way.
Yeah, and I just don't ever want to settle on anything. I've already seen what's happened personally with things that I settled on as this is definitely true, and then more information comes aboard, and then I change my mind. So nothing will ever be proven.
Right. That's why we're in the cornerism.
Yep, there you go.
Exactly.
So what do you mean?
To you, brother.
You too. So what do you think of Dave Weiss's app and the?
I've always loved the app.
Okay, good.
I always loved the app. You know, there's a few things that even when he asked me before he released the app, because I got in contact with you guys right before he released the app, was just the fact that the zodiac belt is not centered at the center or Polaris. It's off-centered, and I think that it's off-centered by 23.4 degrees. Right?
See, that's crazy. So that is that is what they call the tilt.
Exactly. It's all the tilt is the difference from when the sun is at the Tropic of Cancer from when the sun is at the Tropic of Capricorn, and it takes it 6 months to go between the two, and that's the only movement that the sun ever does is the 1 degree movement around the zodiac belt. The sun does not go around us every day. The sky goes around us every day, and the sun is within that sky.
Moving backwards?
The sun moves clockwise with the sky,
right?
But the sun, moon, and planets move counterclockwise in the sky.
Got you. Within the star field.
Within that, whatever, I
Or whatever
can't
it's
define
called.
it perfectly
Yeah.
or scientifically, but I understand its movement, and its movement is perfectly precise. Each one of those bodies is on a certain plane. That plane never changes. Each one of those bodies is at a certain pace or speed, and that speed never changes. Each one of those bodies has a certain pattern, whether it be circular or spiraling, and that pattern never changes. And they're all within that 16-degree belt of the zodiac stars. So it's a very, once you can see this image, you realize that that's all the sun's doing, and that's really why the sun doesn't change speed. Like, that's one of the things they always get people with. It's like, well, when the sun is at the Tropic of Capricorn, it's going a much bigger circle, so how does it keep the speed? It's like, well, the sun's not moving up there very fast. The sun's in the sky. The sky is moving at a perfect pace. That pace is 23 hours and 56 minutes. It moves around in a circle. As it does that pace, within that 23 hours and 56 minutes, the sun is moving counterclockwise just a little bit, which is why it takes the sun 24 hours to make that circle instead of 23 hours and 56 minutes. So it just takes a little bit longer. And this is what makes this astrological perfect sky clock that we can count on. So some people that are very smart with a lot of things, they'll say, well, Mars was moving at a different circle or this. It's like, I don't know, man, because you can roll this clock 10,000 years back or 10,000 years forward and it just works perfect. So I have a hard time thinking that any star was out of position ever.
Mm-hmm. And so, like here, I'm pretty sure you should be able to see this if I... maybe you can't see it. If I put that there, can you see?
I can see the app in the corner.
Okay, yeah. So if we go to the zodiac, the stars here, which is here, and
right.
Are you saying it should be on this? It should be offset 23.5 degrees?
Of course, yes, absolutely, because it's always the same picture. So, like, one of my concerns, but I said to Dave, like, when he was making the app, I understand why you may not be able to showcase it that way on this app.
Right.
And it doesn't need to be showcased that way. It's not deceptive in any way. It just might not be perfectly leading. And it's the same thing, but even like on his app, the moon is much larger than the sun, but that's only because you wouldn't see the moon most of the time
right.
if it wasn't. So it's like he's not doing that to be deceptive. He's doing that to be more clear. So
correct.
It's, I know that Dave has nothing but the best intentions, and he's doing it very intelligently. I'm just saying that can be misleading, and then all of a sudden people don't get the picture, or people use that picture against you. And I've just been singing this song since 2015 when I got involved.
Right.
And very, very few people have seen this picture yet. And I have people that I work locally with, as I've told you in the past, and I have a brother now that's going to be helping me. He builds CNC machines, and he's going to be helping me to create a very large structure of the sky over the earth. And it's going to be one that I can have the constellations moving in a perfect astral plane above the.
So, John, you think that the stars are on a flat plane above us, right?
Well, I think they're best shown that way to us, because we can't understand how the dome effect is perfectly created. We obviously know it's there, but like you say, we have the dome of our vision. We have, lenses around. We have a lot of things that can be misleading. I certainly believe there is a structure to the sky. I can't explain that structure, but right. I also, I can't prove it's a dome. I can't prove that. I have things that make me feel that it is, but I can't prove it. And what I can prove is that all the stars have a perfect placement over the earth. And that placement is always fixed, except that star moves in a circle. But that circle underneath where that star moves above is always the same. It doesn't change. And that zenith is how we can make that astral plane perfectly logical, even if it is domed, right? So right. Either way. So I'm going to make that plane above the plane, and then make the zodiac belt have some kind of mutability to it, so I can showcase where the sun would be every day as that sky turns.
And just to show people what we're talking about, when you're saying this is moving, the stars are moving clockwise above our heads here, but the sun, you're saying, is moving counterclockwise within this star field.
Right. And if you just speed up that clock right now, you'll see that action happen. And you'll see that the moon does it every month. The moon does it 13 times a year. The sun does it 1 time a year.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So this is how that clock works. And as the moon and sun are doing that, so is Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and all of the other planets and centaurs and asteroids and other things that also operate inside those zodiacal constellations.
John, you're awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and we'll talk to you
brother.
soon. Thanks, you too.
Love you, man.
Take it easy. Peace. All right, let's head back over. We got another guest joining us. Good way to start us off right there. Let's go with Harmon in the house. Harmon. Look at you.
Up,
What do you got, a date tonight or something?
I actually combed my hair for you.
I saw that. Well, I didn't know the date was with me, but now I'm touched. So
There you go. Well, when you teased us back about 4:30 this afternoon, you said you'd be coming on at 9. I've been anxiously waiting. How you like that?
oh, thank you so very much.
So let's put our thinking caps on right now, and not a San Francisco cap, a thinking cap.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You're on the salt flats over there in Bolivia.
Okay.
Not when it's mirrored. Just that's one of the flattest places we have, right?
Okay.
You got a big spotlight they have like at Vegas or Premieres, one of those real big spotlights.
Yeah.
Okay, let's put it up 100 feet in the air.
Okay.
Stand. Now we start. Let's say our visibility because of the atmosphere is 3 miles. So we're taking it away. And of course we know what low is right perspective, right? And so when it disappears, do we see any more light? When you see the source, do you see any more light?
When you see the source disappear, you mean?
Yeah, when you see that sun, let's pretend it's the sun.
Okay.
And it goes past, and the atmosphere is still thick. Now it just goes away.
Right.
Is there any more light left?
Yeah, there's gonna be a little bit.
How is there going to be any light left? If the source is gone, put the candle out. What other source you got?
Well, you mean when it goes behind the deck of opacity, if you want to say that, or gets too small to see?
Just
you mean?
when it just don't use a fancy word. We say
Well-
when it goes beyond the atmosphere, and it's just we can't see it anymore. Like Dave's pictures where it just goes away.
Correct. I would think that there's still residual light because it's a light source. But let's say that you have a light and you go around the corner from me. I'm still going to be able to see the light.
No.
Oh.
You could still, the light still would be in your range. It didn't go out of sight. It went behind a building. No, this is when the light can't penetrate through the atmosphere anymore.
Okay.
The source.
Correct.
That spotlight. Once it gets past that,
Okay,
we can't see that light anymore.
I'll give it to you. I can see what you're saying. I think it's a little bit. Go ahead.
Pardon me?
Well, I think it's a little trickier than that because depending on how you have to remember that the atmosphere is a lot thinner the higher up you are, so the light will be able to be thrown further than down low. But the item is condensed, or it's getting compressed towards the horizon. So there's just a lot of things unknowns over there. It's not easy just to say, oh, it's being blocked by the atmosphere.
I'm trying to lead you to something.
Okay, go ahead.
So the light source is gone. How would it project any more light if you cannot see the source of the light?
Okay, I'll give you that.
Do you understand what I'm saying there?
Sure.
Okay, so let's go back. I always try to get back there and get people to go. I always say the light causes the sun. You know that.
Okay.
And you've said the sun causes the light. But do you think what do you, I'm just trying to figure out what you say to get more clarified. Is there two lights?
I would say yes. I think that there is a lighting of the atmosphere or the gases involved. Yes. So I don't think that the sun is responsible for all of the light that we see during the day.
So you say the sun lights the gases in the atmosphere?
Yes.
What gases?
Any gases that are up there, neon, helium, all that stuff. They all have light. They all have colors.
And they're up there, right?
That's what we've been told, and that's what Dan Dimension has shown, that it's it's probably the reason we have a blue sky. What's your reasoning for why we have a blue sky?
So by their word, you're thinking we have helium and all those things up there.
I know that if I let a balloon of helium go up, that it will pop when it gets to a certain height, and I would have to assume that the helium does not come back down. That wouldn't make sense. Why was it going up in the first place? So I'm assuming that there's helium and hydrogen and lighter gases at the top. That's an assumption. I mean, I don't have proof of that.
Yeah, you're presuming that the atmosphere has gases in it, which the gas from helium originated from a star 22 million light years away that came and crashed into our
Well,
Earth
I don't believe that, but yeah.
Well, that's where helium came from.
Well, if you believe that.
That's to make your atmosphere like that, you would have to believe that.
Why would I have to believe it came from a star?
That's where the heliocentric model says it comes from.
Okay, but I don't believe in the heliocentric model. You're just saying because I believe that there's gas at the top of the dome, that means I believe in heliocentricity. That's not even that.
Where did we get that information that there were gases in the atmosphere?
What do you mean? That's not. There's no. I mean, you think there's a question of whether there's. What is air? Do you consider air gas?
No, air is just air.
Oh, okay. Well,
to me, air is the ether. I know you guys don't believe that.
Okay.
The ether is the air. Water is just water, right? When ice melts, steam goes, everything goes back to the original form of water. When all the gases that man makes, helium, rayon, all the
noble gases, right?
That man makes, processes, and when it's released, if you have an oxygen tank and you open it up and it goes into the air, what does it become? Just like water, it becomes the air.
Right. Which,
right?
Okay, yes.
Anyway, so you got me off on that difference.
Sorry.
On that one. So the sun setting, well, you already said it charges this thing. And the sun goes away.
Okay.
Right? And we can't see it anymore. But yet we still have light, so there's two lights anyway. Anyway, got off on a run, so I lost my
So when you see a sunset and the sun gets occulted by the clouds and everything else that's there, so now we no longer see the sun, but you still do see light coming in from that direction. So you're saying that there's a second light that's causing the
light coming from that direction, or is light going in that direction?
I mean, I would have to look at a couple of videos, but from what I can tell, because I've watched the sunsets in Australia because I was trying to watch with the direction.
The sun is traveling with the light.
I mean, I guess I don't know what you're saying. I mean, so you're saying that the light is what causes the sun light?
Yes.
Okay, I can see. I mean, yeah. I mean, how do we know?
So what we're seeing when it goes, we're seeing the light go, and as it goes, it takes the sun with it.
Okay. I mean, I tend to think.
We see the light coming at us, we see the light going away, and it becomes dark.
But when the sun is above your head, wouldn't you say that if you look at it, you can clearly see that light is coming from it?
Well, I'm not saying that the source of the light of the sun doesn't still create more light.
Okay.
It creates hard shadows. The regular light creates soft shadows.
Okay, that's true. All right, I'll give you that. It's like a diffused light, yeah.
And it fills. Like on the other side of a building, if you shine a big light, you wouldn't fill the underneath and everything like that, what you're looking at.
Okay.
But the light does. The light comes up there, but the sun doesn't fill. It still has shadows with the light. But the light will let you see everything underneath the roof and everything like that.
Yeah,
that's not sunlight, that's just a light.
Okay. I can see that.
Anyway.
I mean, to me, it seems like if when you see a sun go off into the distance or whatever, that it's still throwing light. And it's because it can do that because it's, from our perspective, we're looking through the densest atmosphere, right? It's right at the ground level. So we're looking through the densest atmosphere, we see the sun disappear. But the light that it was emitting it's actually way up high. We know that. So it's way up high where there is no, there's not as much atmosphere. So that light can be thrown further. I mean, here's my crazy thought. I think that the sun lights the stars. I think that the sun is just on the other side of the earth, but its light is thrown across the top of us because we can't see the light because there's no air for it to light up. But the sunlight's still going across, and then it hits the stars and lights the stars. Again, that's...
Cool story,
you only can do that with glasses on.
Cool story. But no, the sun, if the light's taking the sun with it, the sun's not throwing the light back. It's just the charge of the atmosphere, which is the ether, which is our charge, which makes it 24-hour circle like that, man. It was just onset.
And
so
then
the Earth goes that way.
And then what do you think the sun is?
Oh, who knows?
All right, okay.
I think it's by a focal point or
a
filament of the sun. That's why if it's not physical, and the sun's going around there, and it projects wherever where its most focal point is. It can be projecting in 3 different places at once, but you only see one sun.
Right. I believe
Someone
that.
over here sees it there. I mean,
Which is
I don't
pretty
know
much proven. I mean, that's kind of why they can't triangulate the sun.
right, or the moon.
Yeah.
Or a rainbow.
Right. You can't do it.
Anyway, so I was just trying to say that if you see the sun go away and the light goes out on the sun, and you still thinking that the sun is up high and emitting light, but yet you still got light on your truck, underneath the truck and stuff like that, but you said the sun's up high, is it going to shoot over us, or you think it's still going to light up the ground and everything after?
Well, some of the light is lighting the atmosphere around us, so it's still light.
So as you think it's exciting the gases around us, and so we can still see.
That's what I think, yes. And I think that as you go higher up, you have less and less gases, so less and less things for the sun to illuminate. So if it hits something like the star, or if it hits something, then it's going to light that. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying that's kind of my opinion. But you always make me think. I no longer believe in an immune system, thanks to you. So you do bring good information. I finally got that one. It takes me a little time. Sometimes it takes me some time. So you got to call in. You got to keep pushing.
But just visualize it, the sun going, the light taking the sun, and it's just going with it. And it's not doing that now. It's just the trail end of the light where the power source is ending and the night's taking over, and it's just moving on.
Okay, and that's good because now I want to watch some footage of sunsets and see if I see any evidence of that. Of the light carrying the sun.
Someone in your chat real quick says, this man said that helium's an Earth from another star. Well, if you go back and look where they said that original helium came from, it came from another star, something that hit us before when the Earth was being formed, and that's how we ended up.
What is the actual they actually say helium is found in rocks? Is that correct?
Yeah, in rocks, and some of it escapes and it goes up into our atmosphere. And rayon which is the heaviest one, is at our feet, and it goes into basements and stuff like that. And all of that's never been proven. It's just noble gases are, in my opinion, man-made, just like oxygen, just like helium, just like neon, anything. It's man-made.
Okay.
It's just man-made.
You think hydrogen's man-made?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just compression of the pressure of gas. Oxygen is just how much pressure you put in that container. Once you release it out of the container, you think there's oxygen in the air now. I know you think that. That's because what we're told, and you still haven't left that model of being told.
Well, I mean, I know. Have you ever been given oxygen to breathe?
I didn't say oxygen doesn't exist.
Right, but you don't think it exists.
And you get the compressed air, which is oxygen, and it gets you higher. I know that. I've done it with dentists and stuff.
Right, but do you think that there's oxygen in the air around you now?
No, it's just air.
Okay.
It's just air, just like water's just water. Water, I don't think water's H2O. You can't prove it.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Okay. Good to think about. You're always giving me something new. And
anyway,
I do appreciate it.
Hi to you, and hope you're doing good. And I'm glad you got to play that stay last month in your place. You got to see how the rich people live.
Yeah, except for it turned out to not be. So, we're down there for 3 weeks, right? And then we wake up one morning, we're both dripping in sweat. We're like, what the hell's going on? Well, the air conditioner broke. So we go to the little book and we flip through the pages and we find the lady's phone number and we text her. And I said, hey, the air conditioner broke on the right side of the house. Can you get somebody to fix it? And she said, what property? And I said, oh, we're here at the Estelita. And she said, is this some sort of joke? And I said, no. And she goes, who is this? And I started thinking, oh, shit. Do I need to pretend like I'm my friend, or do I pretend? So I was like, oh, this is, I gave my friend's name, and she said, this isn't his phone number. So I'm like, oh, actually, I'm his friend, and this and that. She goes, oh, I'm going to get right back with you. So then I called my friend in a quick minute. I was like, dude, I think I made a mistake. I said, I called the owner. He's like, oh. He's like, well, they really didn't know you were staying there. I'm like, so what? You just let me stay. So I'm like, well, now what's going to happen? So he's like, let me talk to them. Let me see what happens. So he, got in contact with them, and he called me back and says, I think they're going to send somebody over to make sure you're not destroying the house. And then I convinced them to let you stay there. So sure enough, 15 minutes later, here comes this lady. She's got a Caldwell Banker tag on. She comes over and she goes, I'll just be a quick minute. She walked down the house, looked in the bedrooms, walked in the kitchen, and then she goes, sorry to bother you. Have a good stay. So I guess
that was.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't, we were just staying there. So anyway, it was kind of stressful for a while, because then we started thinking, oh shit, are we going to get kicked out of here? Should we not be here? But I guess what happened, here's the long story short. So this guy's stepdad died, and there's like 7 children and stepchildren combined. And so the deal is that these rental properties that he has, they all split them 7 ways at the end of the month. So they all get it split 7 ways. Now, the actual children of this guy, they got a money disbursement. So they got like $2 million when he died. But my friend did not, because my friend's a stepson. So he just got well, when these things fell through the cracks, guess who gets screwed? He does, because he doesn't make the money because they didn't rent it out. Well, the other people don't care. They have millions of dollars. The other thing is, he told me he has to pay for the house cleaning, the pool cleaning, but there's nobody renting the place. So he's like, so he was so pissed at that he's just like, I know the door code. You go stay there. I'm paying for it anyway. I'm paying for the house cleaner anyway. I'm not going to leave the house.
And everything, so yeah,
might as well. But he never told them that he was letting me stay there.
No, it's not that he never told them. He never told you. Didn't tell them.
Correct. Yes. So then he said, like,
you wouldn't have made that mistake.
Right. And then I was like, I didn't know. He's like, yeah, you should have just called and got the air conditioner fixed yourself. I'm like, I didn't know that. My bad. So anyway, it didn't turn out to be as clean and glorious as I had planned. But it all worked out.
You got to have your pool for a while.
Yeah, but then he was like, so what? So when are you leaving? I'm like, oh, the 3rd. I thought that. And he's like, oh, can you leave earlier? I'm like, well, Mrs. Family's coming the final weekend. I was like, we'll leave that. So we left like 2 days early. But whatever. It's just a funny story. Anyway.
A little sour text at the end. All right, then. Thanks for letting me talk. You take care.
Anytime. Peace. All right, we got Arian in the house. Arian, you look like Danielson, except for you're not white. Beside that, yeah, good. All right, let me get myself off the screen, get you on there. I don't hear you. I don't think.
Hi.
There we go. We hear you now. Go ahead. You are.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. I was watching your show and that was amazing. Like he was talking about that guy and he just said that, oh, the science proves that water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. That was right, giving me a very good laugh. Because if you just understand the SI units, like how they created the Celsius, then about 300 years ago.
Thank you. I don't know, why are you the only person that's ever stood up and actually said this? I've been trying. Go ahead. I'll let you continue. Go ahead.
Yeah. When they set the value of Celsius, like they set that they set 0 and 100, and 0 is when the water is going freezing, and 100 is when the water is boiling, and they divided that temperature difference into 100 parts. Right. And as they got to the 100 on 100 degrees Celsius, like water boils. But that doesn't mean that science is proving something. Science is measuring that. Right. They are measuring with a man-made unit that is called the Celsius.
Right. By definition, it's what it is by definition. That's why it was made.
Yeah, right. Now, there are all other kind of definitions. Like, what is the definition of 1 kilogram? Then it is like water, 1 liter water at 4 degrees Celsius, I think. Mm-hmm. That is the definition. Like, what is the definition of a meter? It's based on the speed of light, assumed speed of light, right? So, like, I don't know why he was saying that kind of things. Like, and even after, like, if I say that kind of thing. But if I understand, like, I was wrong, then I'll admit it. But he's a guy who never tried.
And that's the only reason. And he can say a million reasons why I called him a scammer. And anybody who's listened to my show knows that the only reason I've called him a scammer is because when you're pointed out that you're wrong about something, what you should do if you're a stand-up person and a man is to say, oh, my bad, I was wrong about that. But when your whole facade is that you're never wrong and you're flat earth debates and you get everything right, then it's a scam because you'll never admit that you're wrong. So as long as people understand that he's going to pipe off and think he's right about everything, he's not. And the fact that he won't ever admit that he's wrong, to me, is a scam. So again, he can prove me wrong by admitting that he was wrong and apologizing, in which case I have to admit I was wrong because my reason for him being a scammer has just been disproven in the fact that he's changed his mind and said he's sorry. But that'll never happen because I'm right about him being a scammer. So anyway.
No, it's never going to happen. Like it's like he was talking like a kid. Like if you go to a village, then everyone boils water, but they don't know that water boils at 100 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, and it's not even something. That's what we have to thank science for. Like we would have figured that out. Like water boils with heat. I mean, you didn't need science to do that for you.
Yeah, what about 500 years back? Like humans were not boiling the water because science was not proven.
Right. What if they made a different scale? Right. They made 200 the boiling temperature and 0 the freezing. Well, then science would prove that it boils at a different temperature. So what do you mean? I mean,
yeah, degree was divided between freezing point to boiling point into 100 parts. That was the definition.
Right.
at the 1 atmospheric pressure. Yeah, and that is a simple thing. If you just go to Wikipedia, then you can get the answer. But I don't know, he just bothered to like make himself better. He just want to show that, oh, if he said something, then he's
never wrong.
To believe.
Yeah, it's never wrong.
Yeah, he can not wrong. Yeah.
So
yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, go ahead. You can keep talking. I was talking half the time here, so if you need another 2 minutes, go ahead.
Yeah, so like and about your debate with the what is MC Tune, and yeah, that was really amazing. And the things like the people will go out like oh, why you didn't try to fight him, but if you go and fight him, then what will happen? Like there are so many people who are fighting with them. What they have done, like it's not going to lead you anywhere.
No.
If you go and fight them, like other people, they just try to go and fight them, but we don't need to fight. Like we can use them as to benefit ourselves. Like if you go to Globers, then they are also doing research, then you can make yourself better. But
yeah, like I'm willing to hear him out, right? When I hear him out, I'm not afraid of the globe Earth. I'm not afraid of. I want the evidence, because the more evidence that they give that is nothing, the more I feel comfortable in my belief. So to just ignore them, or to yell and scream at him, or say, "Oh, you have a flat baseline," and it means just. If I do that, then what am I learning? What am I teaching? What is my audience getting out of it? Nothing. And then what ultimately becomes of my channel? I become like Nathan Oakley's channel, where nobody will go on there, nobody will talk to him, and then I've got to go pick on other people. I mean, I don't want to go down that path at all. So I'm just a better person than that. I can talk to anybody, and I'm probably going to talk to Craig, Fight the Fat Earth, because he is, again, we'll just see what happens. Again, I don't ever worry that like I'm going to have a debate with somebody, and then there's going to be a flat earther that listens to the debate and goes, "Oh, now I believe in Craig." No, people who are listening to my show have already, they're already far enough along that I'm not worried about that. And what I am thinking they need to be worried about is there is some people that watch them that when they are questioned on some certain things and can't give answers might start thinking about flat earth. That's the goal. So.
Yeah, and what's your stand on like people in the ISS, their hair are not floating, like that has to be floated in the zero gravitational force, like the orbital mechanics according to Globe, then it says that like what is the velocity you are going outward, the gravity is pulling you downward, so it is zero gravity. So 0G plane and the orbit of ISS is the same, so their hair should be float identically, but the girls' hair don't float identically.
No.
And
looks like it's fabricated, right? It looks fabricated. It looks like it's a stage act, with hairspray and everything else. I mean, it doesn't look like it's a natural occurring thing. And then all these people that are all getting excited about these different flights, whether it's the Virgin Galactic or whether it's the Blue Origin, people just need to recognize that all they're doing is a reverse bungee jump. They're throwing the craft as high as they can in the air. And just like if you throw a ball, when the ball gets to the apex of its flight, it is weightless. At the very top, it doesn't, and that's all they're doing is they're throwing people up and then giving them that little bit of weightlessness. You've got the Virgin Galactic that just puts out its wings and helps it kind of float down at the right speed. People just need to recognize these are all parlor tricks. They're not anything. They even tell people like, "Oh, you're going to space." No, you're not. So
yeah, because the videos are changing. Like if you watch a video of 90s, then the girl's hair was like very strict, like they're very putting so much spray. But if you watch the recent videos, then their hairs are floating. So we can ask them like why that kind of difference is going, like
right,
why these things are changing, right? So that's all amazing, and yeah, you're doing great work, and
well, thank you.
Debates also, yeah, like Greg, and that's amazing to watch.
And I don't even call it a debate because it's not meant to be a debate. It's a conversation. It's a structured conversation. We tried to put a timer so that we didn't talk over each other. Again, that never really holds too strong. But again, it's just not a debate like people think it is. But again, to each their own. I don't really care. I mean, if I catered my channel to what people wanted me to do, it'd be completely different. And it's just never been me. Anybody who's watched me for 8 years knows that. And do I get myself in trouble? Do I lose subscribers? Do I do all that because I don't give people exactly what they want? Yes, but I don't want to ever become like these YouTubers that do that start a certain way, then they adjust, then they look at their audience and they adjust for their audience, and before you know it, they hate what they're doing because they're actually doing something differently than what they intended to do. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be doing this for other people. I'll eventually, regret that or resent that. I want to do it for myself. It's my learning path, and talking to Toon, I'm learning from that, and I hope you guys do as well. And if you don't learn from it, then don't watch. It's that simple.
Right.
Easy. All right, I'm gonna let you go, buddy. Thanks so much. Have a good one. That was Arian. Great call. Let's go with Geocentricity.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, boss? How are you?
Good. Yeah, you're doing good thing talking to Mectoon. I don't know about FTFE though.
Yeah, it's going to be, again, I've had my differences with him, but both guys, he messaged me today and said, just to let you know, and again, these guys could be trying to soften me up in some way, who knows? But it's still impressive that they're, like Fight the Fat Shirt, I guess he was telling people today to stop using Behind the Curve as evidence of anything, because he's now seen the evidence that they admit in emails that, oh yeah, well, we did see observations that showed flat, and yeah, we did see, and we just chose this one. It's like ridiculous. They're like, oh, but only one time did we see only one light. It's like, you could say that about anything. Imagine if I would have come back from that experiment and said, we proved the Earth was flat. And then everybody's like, what? And then I showed just one scene of me seeing the light when the Earth was flat. And I said, that's it. And then people found out that there was more footage that I didn't show that showed that the Earth was curved. That's what happened, just the opposite of that. Right. And it's like, it was shocking to me. I was like, what? Why would these movie guys ever do that? But it also should tell people a lot of things. If they had to do that, rather than just prove it, if you're going to make a documentary and you got a bunch of money, how great would you be? Your names would be etched in history if you would just go and prove the curve. But rather than do that, they had to misrepresent my experiment and make it look like I proved the curve. That should tell you a lot. That should tell you they can't prove the curve. They had a bunch of astrophysicists on there. They had an astronaut on there. They had all the... Why didn't any of them say, why don't we just prove the curve? Why don't we just set up this demonstration? Why don't we set up this apparatus? They don't do anything. Science doesn't even address it. So there's reasons for that. Anyway, I'm going to start your clock. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to say one thing about FTFE. Hopefully, before you start the clock. We're a small group on an island called Aruba in the Caribbean, and it's like FE versus Globe, Aruba. And it's about 100 people only on Facebook. And what I find weird is that somehow this FTFE guy showed up in this group asking me, the most prominent flat earth in that group, to debate him on his life. And I saw the videos that he made, man. That's gruesome.
Yeah, he's vile.
Yeah, I'm like, why would I want to conversate with somebody like that? I don't like to debate the topic. I just like to conversate about it and, tell people things that maybe that they didn't know. Anyways, I just wanted to bring this forward. Maybe if you can hear me out. If you go in history of the dates that when the lunar eclipse happened, we know that the lunar eclipse is simply a shadow going over the moon.
Correct.
Right? It's not an actual eclipse because there's not an actual body going in front of it. It's just a shadow.
Okay.
And I have this crazy theory that what could be causing this lunar eclipse.
Okay.
If you go into there's that Flat Earth app, not the one from David Weiss, but just the Flat Earth app where you can actually plot the dates. And it will bring you the sun and moon positions on the map.
Okay, I don't think I've seen it.
If you take all the lunar eclipses that happened in history and plot in the date in that app, you'll see that the sun and the moon is always as farthest as they could be from each other.
Correct.
As in,
you mean during lunar eclipses?
Lunar eclipse, yes.
Okay.
Always when that happens, when there's a lunar eclipse,
correct,
when the shadow crosses the moon,
yep,
they're always very far apart from each other.
The farthest,
somehow.
the farthest possible. Yeah.
And well, it got me thinking. When they're always across from each other, like it's showing here. See, this is the sun and this is the moon right here.
Okay.
What's in the center?
Right.
The North Polaris.
Right.
Yeah, I have the same idea as you have, that the sun shoots its rays over the Earth, and
Right.
that the stars get lit up by the sun. Because when you play around with the app, and when the sun is closer to the moon,
Mhm.
the shadow that it's casting is specifically the light from the sun, and the sun is casting the shadow of the moon.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, right? Maybe the sun is throwing its rays over to the moon, right? Like me and you think the same thing. Maybe the North Polaris star is the one that slightly gets in the way for a couple of minutes and blocks out the light of the sun and casts the shadow on the moon.
It's an interesting thought, and I think a lot of people, some other people have thought maybe Mount Meru. Now, I don't know how tall it would need to be, but Mount Meru, because also we do see the red color of the shadow, and could it be that Mount Meru is like a copper type mountain that throws a red color? Who knows? But it's an interesting thought. I've never really thought about, could it be something like Polaris? I mean, again, I don't know the size of these things.
I mean, every single time I've that's the only stepping stone that I had to like step over to believe this model. Like I've challenged everything. The sun going down into the horizon, it's going away.
Mm-hmm.
I've challenged everything, but this was the only challenge that was the hardest. Even though in the globe model, it's very hard to believe also.
Yeah, but then I get it, because that's the one thing they always go to, right? Oh, well, Ptolemy saw the eclipse. It's why we knew that. So I get it, but I've questioned it too. I tend to think sometimes that there is dark bodies in space, that there is some sort of Rahu Ketu, that kind of thing. But have I seen them? No, and I've never really looked for them. But I mean, maybe there's a half a degree dark body that passes through the sky. We wouldn't really know unless you kind of could track it. But I don't know, what it is that's causing that.
Right. Can I just say one more small thing?
You may. One more small thing. Go ahead.
Do you know what the SBX-1 is?
SBX-1?
Yes.
No.
Okay, if you look up the SBX-1, it's a giant military satellite that sits on a giant ship that's in the ocean.
SBX-1.
SBX-1. It's a C-band. It's an X-C-band satellite that relays telecommunication system to somewhere else.
Okay.
Anyways, last year when California lit on fire, that SBX-1 was off the coast of California. If you go to marinetraffic.com...
Oh, that's not permanent. That actually is a boat? Or does
It's a boat, yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's a satellite that moves over the ocean. They can position it anywhere they want to, but it moves really freaking slow.
Yeah, it looks like it almost looks like concrete legs or something crazy.
Yeah. No, it's movable.
Right.
Marinetraffic.com doesn't display its current position, but it displays its last position, which was known in March 2023. The one that I saw last year when California was on fire, or I think it's 2 years ago.
Right.
It was off the coast of California.
Wow.
Okay. If you go to marinetraffic.com and look up SBX-1 right now, you know where was the last position in March? Hawaii.
Yeah, let me guess, Hawaii.
Yes. Look it up right now, bro. Go to marinetraffic.com, look up SBX-1, and look up what was the last location. It's March 2023, Hawaii.
Wow.
And my personal theory on why they did this is because it's close to Kiribati, and I believe Kiribati is a trade route to other places, like David Weiss says all the time. I believe the same because I've been seeing. It's weird, right? And they need to reset those places because maybe people are thinking outside the box too much, and are secrets are getting out.
So I'm looking at marine traffic, and when I type in the search SBX-1, nothing comes up. Where do you search for it?
Are you on the website or are you on the app?
No, I'm on the website. Let me try SBX. Wait, it is. Oh, it's Space One. It's Space One. I just put SBX-1, but it's SBX then Space then 1. And then what do you go to?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay,
it's Pearl Harbor.
Yes.
Yep. Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, last position 323. Area NPAC, Hawaii, underway using engine.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Wow.
Yeah, of course. There's a lot of ships that you don't get to track, but that one is military ship, and it gives out satellite so satellite location like so little. Like it's weird.
Yeah, it's a very weird vessel-looking thing. I've never really seen it before ever.
It's crazy. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge, and I believe that it moves maybe like what, 10 miles an hour or something like that.
Oh, a lot less than that. Way less than that.
Maybe less, yeah.
And then what is it? Is it self-propelled? No, it has to be pulled.
It has to be pulled?
Well, I see all kinds of boats, like tugboats, around it. So it must not move on its own.
Well, when I live on an island. Before it goes into docking, they have to tugboat it because the tugboats knows.
But out on the open sea, it propels
It
itself.
still has a tugboat out of the open sea.
I'm trying to see if I can find. It looks like when I see images of it without tugboats, that it looks like it's like docked or something. But I don't know. I'll look into it. I've never even heard of this thing, so it's very interesting.
Yeah,
and then I noticed too that I saw something else when I typed in SBX1. This other.
There's another one. Yeah, there's another one when you type SBX1s. There's two, but
this one's not. This one's terrestrial. There's like it
right.
says.
No, the one that you're seeing terrestrial is the actual satellite that they took from the ground and placed it on the ship.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
Oh, got you. I do see that. Okay, got you.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Wow, that is a crazy thing. Dock
Yeah,
wise.
do directed energy weapons, lasers, whatever, stratospheric, tropospheric scatter propagation when they bounce off the ionosphere and come back down, maybe on a very high powered beam, and they could cause earthquakes and everything like that. I believe that where was the tsunami last year? It was off the coast of California.
The tsunami?
Well, it was going to be.
Oh yeah. I remember there was an earthquake down south in South America, and then they had
it was by California, right?
The earthquake.
Was it in
Maybe you're right.
South
I remember them saying like, "Oh, watch out for but then it never happened. But I thought that the earthquake happened south.
Exactly. That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that did that too. They're just testing it out. There's anyways, I think
okay, well thank you for this. I will definitely look into it. It's pretty insane.
Yeah,
the pictures are crazy.
Raytheon. Just look up Raytheon.
Yeah.
Whistleblower Antarctica. I don't remember the guy's show.
Yeah, I watched that. Yeah, I seen that.
Oh, you seen it?
Mm-hmm. Where he talks about all the things that they have capabilities of doing.
Yeah. So with the again, with the earthquake and stuff like that, I believe this does the same thing as that one.
Scary thought, but you could be right. All right, well, thanks for that call. Appreciate it.
Take care, buddy.
Later.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Let's bring on who's next. Anybody have any guesses? Anybody have any guesses? Anybody at all? It's my favorite guest, Tony Coriolis. Welcome, Tony.
Hey, glad to be your favorite.
Who'd you kill today?
A couple people. Killed my bank account down at the casino. Did a flat earth meetup over there.
At the casino?
Yeah.
And
I only lost $45. I didn't kill
that's not that bad. Come on, you can't cry about that.
Yeah, I lost today. Sorry, guys.
What were you playing? Slots?
Roulette only.
Oh, I like roulette. I do like roulette.
I play my 4 numbers that are actually my flat earth number.
11, 22, 33?
7, 3, 10, 20. Those are my numbers.
All right, I like none of those.
Yeah.
All right.
And talking out 7, 3. Okay, those are my 2 favorite numbers, and the birthday's 10, 20.
Okay.
So 73 has always been my favorite number. I got a baseball jersey I could go to in my closet right now. I got 73 on it. It's always been my favorite number. Then I found out when I was sitting at my aunt's bar, I was talking about how there's this beer called Moon Juice, out here in Arizona, and it's really powerful. It's 7.3% alcohol.
Okay.
And I was talking that out to my aunt and someone at the bar, and then she goes, "Oh, that's your birth weight." So I just found it weird that my birth weight is, 73. It's always been my lucky number.
Wow. You were 7 pounds, 3 ounces?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was much larger than that.
So, talking that out. So I got that coin, the flat earth coin.
Seen it? Yep.
Yeah. And that guy, Dalu, I saw him today. He was at the meetup. And he brought more coins. He always has some coins on him. And it's so cool, I think. So I got coin number 73. That's what coin I got.
Wow. But you asked for that.
There's any reference to flat earth in 73 offhand?
I mean, seven's got all kinds of. I mean, 7 continents. There's 7 colors in a rainbow. There's 7 notes in a musical scale. There's 7 days in a week, and there's lots of 7s.
Yeah. So I know I was out of town, and I was trying to do something where I don't really look at my phone, so I was really digging into that Farmer's Almanac book that I've mentioned to you before.
Right.
You know, and for July, they had marked in there that the Go Fast rocket went 385,000 feet up in the air, which translates to 73 miles. I just found it very weird that the Go Fast rocket would be documented in the Farmer's Almanac under July. So 73 miles up, that might be the limit of how high we can go up. Why else would it be in that Farmer's Almanac and documented, you know? Why would they care?
I don't have an answer for that.
Yeah, me neither.
Do you consider 7 a lucky number, though?
I know they say it's the unluckiest number.
Right.
Because I've heard that spin on it. But I still think it's lucky. I'm keeping it as one of my numbers. I'm not replacing it with 8, you know?
Well, yeah, I always thought about if it was a lucky number, would every casino use the number constantly all over the place? It's actually the opposite, right? 7 is a unlucky number, and they want people to think it's lucky, but it's really unlucky, according to what.
Yeah, but how much do they really know? You know.
Yeah, I mean, well, in Cantonese and Chinese, like I guess 7 sounds like death or something. So definitely Mandarin, Chinese, Asian countries think of 7 as unlucky.
I'm all into that Chinese New Year, so those Chinese know something. Definitely.
Yeah, I don't know. Colors in a rainbow is 7, right? So it's weird that all those things are 7.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, hey, so the last caller guy, I wanted to say, I recently put together, so I was doing that same thing on the Flat Earth app where you just hit, it's got a little rabbit, and then you can make the rabbit go faster, so you can make the sun and the moon go faster on the app, right, when you first pull it up.
Yeah.
So it is always a full moon when the moon and the sun are on opposite sides.
Correct.
So just because one out of the 13 full moons ends up being a eclipse, would that really mean that something is directly in the way? It is just very weird that the eclipse happens and everything totally.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, and then they describe that every other time it goes above or below the shadow is what they say.
That's what they say?
Yeah, so the moon comes around and then it goes above, picture the sun hitting the earth, and then it casts a shadow, and they say the moon goes above it or below it. And then
I even have a lady at my work who's I don't know, I work City of Scottsdale. She's like an HR lady, but she's very cool with me, and I know her niece and nephew and everything. I just know them all well. I know that family well. So she was doing the hearing test for us maintenance workers, a stupid thing that we got to do, and ended up being where I was coming in at 5 a.m., but then I came in at 4 a.m. So I happened to see her at 5 a.m. and then 4 a.m. the next day. And then you know how the moon goes where each day it's an hour behind where it was the day before?
50 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, so I just talked that out to her because we go down a little street that faces east right when you're turning into the parking lot right there. And I said, hey, did you notice that yesterday the moon was in the exact same spot when you turned on Murray Street right here? And then she goes, oh, yeah, it was. And then I kind of just sparked up a little conversation with her. Obviously, I'm not going to hit her with everything flat, but now anytime that I've seen her since then, she brings up the moon and that she's been watching it. So
hey, you're planting
seeds.
With
people, everyone. That's what it is. Just keep on, get people thinking.
You're planting seeds. What more can we want?
Exactly.
Well, thank you.
And then, hey, I had one little thing that, I thought out and I talked out to someone at the group, so I might as well mention to you.
Okay.
So I play a lot of video games and stuff.
We can tell. Oh, sorry.
There's a weird thing for video games where all of them nowadays, Fortnite, GTA, all of them nowadays.
What number GTA are we on? Where are we at with GTA? What's the most recent one?
Oh, I'm advanced, dude. I race. I'm so good at GTA, dude. I be murking on fools out there.
Murking?
Big time.
What
big
is
time?
Okay, wait. Now, come on. I'm way older than you. What is murking?
I don't know. It's a GTA thing, you go out and you kill someone.
You hella murk and stuff.
All right, gotcha. You're too good. Just.
No, I said what number GTA are we on? Last one I played would have been San Andreas, I guess.
I think it's 5. GTA 5.
Oh, so they're a little behind.
Which came out in 2011.
Okay. Oh, okay. So what are they waiting for?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Get in contact with them, please.
They're waiting to make it AI, or
Oh,
the
boy.
VR where you got to put the goggles on, which is never going to work for them. They think they're so smart, but it's not going to work, guys.
Well, now AI is a complete joke. I mean, I've seen these apps that are like, oh, we could take a picture and turn it into a dream and stuff, and then you like download the app and it's garbage. It's like they're just lying to you. There is no AI at all.
And anyone that I have that puts up an AI photo of their profile pic, I hate you. Shut up. It's so stupid. Yeah.
That's great.
So even that GTA that came out in 2011, okay, I now have a different Xbox, but my old Xbox has GTA in my fully advanced account. I played it for a long time. I built up my account, got my nice cars and everything. So up in my out-of-town spot is where my old Xbox sits with that profile and everything. I cannot play that game without being connected to the internet. I go to my out-of-town spot with no internet, and I cannot play that game because I have no internet up there.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
So I really hate that games have gotten to that point of you need an internet connection.
Oh, everything's going that way.
You don't like that as well, yeah?
Yeah, it's all going to go that way because they don't want you to own anything anymore. It's kind of like the CDs, the DVDs, like that. They're doing away with that so that at any time they can just take anything that they want from you.
Exactly right. Exactly right. That's why they want everyone on streaming services.
Yes.
Just be connected to the internet. We'll give you everything you want with
Correct.
the internet,
And the more you're on the internet, the more they can track you and keep track of what you're doing, what you're buying, what you're watching. Once they know those things, and they can try and pump more of what you like into your, it's really a lot of it is about money, but at the same time, our data is extremely expensive, right? So they can sell your data, but it is about money, yeah.
Yes. So, okay, loosely talking about this, I don't know what all the stipulations are on it and everything, but the summits, okay? Now the summits are through the app. Is there a way for me to download the summit without having to be connected to the internet?
That doesn't make any sense.
Like, other than me having that on my tube, as you said, to download videos, like, I have to access the summit through the app, right?
Oh.
The True Earth app?
Well, so what we're going to do is, like, everything's on Telegram. So, but you can, you'd have to go to Telegram, go to the True Earth page, and then you just download every video. But you have to be on the internet to download it.
I did that for the first summit, but I honestly don't think it's there anymore. Was it deleted?
The first summit is still on Telegram.
It is?
I believe so.
Okay.
Let me go there. Let me
I'll
see.
double check. And
Well, I can check too. So that's called that was called Mount Meru.
Yes.
Yeah, True Earth Mount Meru Summit is. Wait, what is this? True Earth Mount. Yeah, everything's still there. If you message me, I'll send you the link.
Okay, because I know I had it, and I know I downloaded. The only ones I downloaded like 3 of them, but I didn't download them all, and I just thought I'll do them all later.
They're all still
there.
there.
I went back. Maybe I just was fucked up and didn't see it or something. I don't know.
Probably drank too much. Yeah.
Probably I do that.
It happens. Yeah, it happens.
Tony Coriolis.
You're right. Okay. Thank you very much, Tony. We're gonna go to the next person.
All good.
Don't kill anybody tomorrow. All right. Give everybody a day off, would you?
No problem. I'm going to Jackalope Freedom Festival. I'm gonna have a great time.
All right. Sounds fun. Jackalope. Tell everybody I said hi. Let's go with Ryan. Welcome to the show. By the way, I want to see you in the chat real quick. If you would do me a favor, everyone in the chat. If you were married on the following dates, the 7th, the 16th, or the 25th, and I don't mean like your second marriage or third marriage, I mean your very first marriage, just write in the chat what day you were married. Say married on the 16th, married on the 7th, married on the 25th, and whether or not that marriage lasted. Because I've heard that the number one divorces happen on people married on the 7th, 16th, and 25th, which is partially the reason why they say 7 is very unlucky. That I was married on the 11th, which is 22 when you add it together, and still married. So I want to know, has anybody been married on the 7th, 16th, 25th, and are you still married or are you now currently divorced? Ryan, go ahead.
I was married on the 7th, and we are 7 years into it and still married.
Nice. All right. Congratulations, and we hope the best for you. We hope that everything I'm saying right now is bullshit. All right?
I don't know. I've been married long enough to know that. Fuck that. No. Yeah. You've been married long enough too, so you know, it's a give and a take. But
it is mostly take for me.
Mostly. Well, good for you then. You got it going on, and upstairs and downstairs then.
No comment. None
I've
whatsoever.
listened to you long enough to know that.
No comment.
But my thing I was going to, so I know you get to talk to the Rokfin people. Like, are they going to get their app are they going to get their app working reasonably? Because it's just been horrible, like absolutely horrible to try to watch anything or get anything on the Rokfin app.
Okay, I would agree with you. I think that, in fact, when I'm on the road, I don't even think about watching Rokfin just because I know it's not going to work in the car. So.
No, exactly. That's where it is, because I like, I listen to your stuff when I'm working, and it's been a couple of months to where, I've just gotten to a point to where I don't even want to mess with it no more because it's just nothing but a problem.
Yeah, I have that down. Austin and I are submitting a list of 10 things that we want them to work on, and then we're going to follow up every month and make sure that they're knocking things off the list. And if they're not, then we'll be the first ones to start advocating for a exodus, if you will.
Okay, no, that's cool. I'm subscribed to you on there and this, and I know it's nothing to do with you. It doesn't. I just wanted to throw it out there.
Right.
Because your stuff is great. I love your perspective.
Thank you.
And I love how you're not subscribed to you are, but you aren't. To where you listen to what other people say and this and that. And I like the freedom that Rokfin offers, but if we can't have access to it, then what's the point?
Correct. And if they're going to charge $15 per person, yes, you're getting great content. You're getting a lot of people. You're getting full content. But if you can't watch it, what's the point? So we want to make sure that they understand that if you're charging $15 a person, then that person needs to get what they're paying for, which is access to all those people. You can't just say that and then them not be able to access those people.
Well, yeah, no, and it's just to where, it crashes and whatever, where Odyssey is, they're half the time they're a SHIT show, but at least there's ways that I can access it and get to it. Right. Where with Rokfin, that's just not available. And it's just unfortunate because in the beginning, it was very promising. It really was. To be able to get this content out there, you, Karen B, and this and that, it was great.
Well, it still is the best place because, obviously they allow free speech and there's not a lot of places that do that. But, again, like you said, you need to be able to access it. So that'll be one of the top things on the list as I'm writing.
Okay, good. No, nope. And that's all I want to say because, it's everything's been on point tonight. It's great. And I love the free flow of ideas and stuff like that.
Me too.
And I like how with Rokfin, when we support the creators, you guys get a bigger cut of it than you do on YouTube or whatnot.
Oh, by far.
That's great too. But even with that, when I've tried to donate on that multiple times, I try to send the money off and it just rejects it right out of the way. And it's just like, well, yeah, no, it straight up rejects it. To where it's invalid, this and that, and then I got to go to YouTube, and they take like
30%,
like 30, 40, yeah, 30% right off the top, and then if you're legitimate, then you got to pay taxes on top of that, and I don't agree with any of that.
Right.
So then it's just like, so at the end of the day, you're getting less than 50% of what I'm trying to give you.
Yeah, and it's actually even worse than that because they've, if somebody claims content on your video, let's say I do a 4-hour video and I put a song in there that's 10 seconds, 15 seconds or whatever. If those people claim that song, they get the entire money that the video makes, even though my video is 4 hours long of my content and I only use 15 seconds of theirs. So, which is just a joke, right? Well, here's the biggest joke about it is that if I do a 4-hour video, they'll just say, no, you can't have monetization because it's, questionable content. Okay, great. So now the video just sits there. It's not making any money. Then all of a sudden I'll wake up one day, I'll go to my computer and it will say, there's a copyright claim on this video now. And then the monetization is turned on, but it pays the people who, so clearly, and people can believe me or not, I got an email when I was in 2015 that said, stop doing what you're doing. And if not, just know that we'll never let you make money doing it. And that's been kind of the story is that you're not going to make money doing this. It just hasn't been the case because Again, how is that possible that I didn't? Oh, you can't do monetization because it's against the rule, or you've got content. But then as soon as some music company claims 15 seconds of now, all of a sudden now the video is monetizable, and they're taking the whole thing. So it's like ridiculous.
No, and that's horrible because those are the ones that I love the best when I'm working, to where I can just zone in to what you're saying, and even if I take notes on, well, I want to look this, I want to do this and that. And they've totally demonetized the process, the incentive for you guys to make the really good content, to where, I mean, you got a family, you got kids, you have this and that. I mean, I totally get it.
Yeah.
And they've taken all of that away from you.
Yeah. And again, I get it. Some people don't have money to support. I do think people do have money to support that don't. And they're like, well, why would I support if it's free? So I get it. But Cash App, I put it on the screen, $Jeranism. It's a little bit scary. I hate to put that up there. I will tell you the story from last week or the week before. I said, hey, everybody, if you enjoyed the show, send $1 through Cash App. And one person sent $1 through Cash App. So, I mean, that's when you're like, okay. if that's really what my content's worth, it's like I really need to take a second look at what I'm doing. But I try not to get too frustrated at that. I mean, I get this isn't, it's not indicative of the content. It's just indicative of the audience, I guess. I don't really know.
Well, no, it's the audience in the world that we live in. But so the Cash App stuff, it's up there. It's posted in the listing.
I just pushed it on the screen, but it's, just $Jeranism. But that's one. Here's the thing about Cash App. They don't take anything. Now, I don't know how that works, or I know that they take a percentage of when people pull money from their bank to Cash App, or they cash out to Cash App. I think if you do it like immediate, they take money. But as far as transferring money between people, there is no fee. So if you're looking for a no fee way, that's the only way, because if you do credit cards or you do PayPal or you do Buy Me a Coffee, all those places have fees.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't disagree with people taking, they're doing a service, whatever, but to where when you're sticking your hand in the pot for 30, 40, 50% of it, I don't agree with that.
No,
yeah,
it's just
no,
ridiculous.
I mean,
especially when you think about all the channels on YouTube and all of the ones do. I mean, Google is making, millions of dollars a day on just taking the 30% of people's tips.
At least millions.
Yeah, it could be more. Who knows?
I mean, this is worldwide, so I mean, they're getting quite a bit. And I'll definitely, because I mean, I super appreciate what you do, and you're the most level-headed guy on here. Because I mean, most people are either one way or they're the other way or this or that, to where you take the middle line. I mean, to where it's, hey, prove me wrong, convince me that I'm wrong, or tell me this or that. And I mean, and you don't insult people. You don't argue with them and tell them they're an idiot or this or that. It's just, tell me your side and we'll go with that.
Right. Yeah, that's what it should be about. I mean, it's just provide evidence and we'll go from there. And, nobody
have a conversation.
Yeah. And I don't know anybody who would ever look at evidence that's clear cut and then just say, oh, I'm not going to believe that evidence. But it does happen often. I mean, the whole thing with McToon and compressing images, and the whole thing with, SpaceX changing their live stream. I mean, people should be livid with that, and yet they're so married to their space religion, they all make an excuse like, well, they were just correcting the record. It's like, hey, dumbass, are you not smart enough to realize the implications of somebody? Well, but they were just they weren't actually faking space. Dipshit, I'm not talking about any of that. It's just how many times and if people don't just get that, like, that should be clear. And I've said it yesterday. If I found out that a flat earther, like if globe earthers came to me and they said, hey, did you know that this flat earth person is doing live streams and they're changing their live stream after the fact somehow, we don't know how, it's not even, you can't even do it, it's not physically possible, yet they're doing it and it's keeping, if I found that out, I'd be the first person to stand up and say, this is horseshit. I would, get in contact with YouTube and say, well, why are you allowing a flat earther to do something nobody else is allowed to do? I would not be like, oh, well, he was just correcting the record. I'm not that fucking stupid, and so it just baffles me that we have people that we have to deal with like that. And actually, when you realize that, you kind of tend to not want to deal with them at all, because it just doesn't, those people they don't get it. If you can't understand the problem with changing live streams, something that nobody else can do, yet somehow SpaceX is able to contact YouTube and say, hey, would you mind us doing something that you don't allow for anybody else? Like, who at YouTube is so cucked that they're like, oh, Elon, for you we'll do it, even though it completely jeopardizes and calls into question every live stream that we'll ever do. We'll do it for you because you're a private space agency who lands rockets backwards.
But not just a private space agency, one of the largest U.S. government contractors.
There you go.
So their money's coming straight from the U.S. government, and they have a direct line to YouTube to do things that nobody else can do.
Correct. And people can't see the implications there. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it really calls in. I mean, now you can't believe anything that says streamed live on YouTube. I don't for a second ever think like, oh, well, they couldn't have changed it. No, I would have thought that before I would have thought. That's why I told the story before that I was watching what's his name? Smarter Every Day, and watched him talk about it, and he was like saying, oh, these were the same and I was like, that's not. Oh, he's like, the engineering's so good that the cameras look like they're the same, but they're not. It's different. And I was like, no, they are the same. And then I went in the comments and looked, and somebody said, what's he talking about? I just went to the video and they are different feeds. And I was like, no, they're not. It's the same video. So I go look, and sure enough, and the last thing I ever imagined is that I would see a live stream changed. So I just thought these guys were all confused. I'm like, clearly. So I just kind of fast forward to that part. When I went to that part and I saw that they were different videos, I'm like, what the hell? What is going on here? And I started, thinking in my mind, like, is this the wrong video? Did they re-upload it? I'm looking at everything, and it was just clear as could be. You could even see that they pasted the video on top of the other one because it's blocking part of the little, what do they call it? Like HUD that basically says the speed that it's going and the miles and everything. That is blocked by the video partially, which is even like more. It's not even like they did a good clean job of it. They basically edited. I don't even know how you would do it. I don't even know. Somebody had to edit it.
But they don't care. I mean, the thing is, they don't even care.
No,
because it's where, like you said, it's the people believe in it like a religion, and then when you try to point it out to them, it's just, oh, it was a mistake. It was this. It was that, and it's like, well, I mean, but either the rules are the rules,
right,
or they're not the rules.
And if you let somebody do that once, then you've now called into question every single live stream. Now anybody can just say, "Oh, well, they changed it." And
that's what they've done. I mean, to where, because it was one of the ones you went from one of the SpaceX launches to where it showed the re-entry when it was landing, and I was just like, whatever. And I looked it up, and I'm like, no. And all the videos that were posted to where, like, they're like, no, this is total bullshit. And it showed the two videos side by side to where they were not even the same, but the one that was supposedly live had been edited, it had been changed, it had been remodified, but it showed it as the original video, and the people showed it side by side, and it's like, no, how? They're not even the same whatsoever.
Yeah, no. I appreciate you pointing that out. Trying to see, there was a, where is this? Anyway, there was a guy that basically in McToon's chat or in the comments was the only one who was like saying, hey, time out here. I'm trying to find that comment, but I don't see it now. Yeah, I don't see it. Anyway, there is a, what? The A in Jaren's logo is a 6. The fact that, I don't know what that means. Stupid it is. You don't think Jaren, yeah, I don't see it now. I wonder, anyway, oh geez, these comments are disgusting.
No, they're horrible.
Oh, it's just horrible. But there was one guy who I wanted to give at least credit to, because this is what's impressive is you could put everything else aside, and just be a real person and be like, oh, this is a problem. I see the problem with this. And one person did say that. I'm just trying to find it. God, there's so many lies in here. I want to read all the. Michio Kaku's statement that nobody in his field uses a scientific method applies only to theoretical physics, which is his field. No shit, Sherlock. That's what I said. Wiki states theoretical physics is a branch of physics that employs mathematical. Yes, we get that. This is in contrast to experimental physics, which uses experimental tools. So there's no. So yeah. So my question in my video was: is theoretical physics actually pseudoscience? Which it is. So I don't know.
Yeah, but it says it in its name. It's theoretical. Right. So it's like literally. So like we're just like grabbing shit. We're grasping at straws, and we're going off of this and that. I mean, it's like something to where like, yeah, great. This can be a great, I mean, 5 years ago, this can be a great Marvel movie, but it's not realistic. It means absolutely nothing. It's just theoretical.
Yeah.
To where, I mean, like theoretical, me or you, we can pull anything out of our asses and say, well, this is how this and that and blah, 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 blah. Neil deGrasse Tyson insert his comment on this. And I mean, it's just, I can't. And that's where anytime I got to discuss with regular people, I mean, to where it's just like, yeah, no. I mean, if I was to purchase real estate, if I was to do this and that, I don't buy real estate on theoretical. Like, theoretically, this property in 5 years is going to be worth X amount of money. Well, theoretically, you're telling me that this is billions of miles away and it's this and that and blah, 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 blah. Well, nice story. That's a nice story, but where am I going to make my profit from this? Like, how am I going to make money off of this? And that's where we have $1 billion industry that's built off of, well, it's theoretical. It's theoretical.
Must be
and
nice,
you need to trust the theoreticalness of it. And I mean, and that even there, that I don't even think that word works in that sense, but it's $1 billion industry.
I'm getting livid right now. Hey, I gotta let you go. We got people behind you.
That's great. It's good talking to you, man. Have
You
a
too.
good night.
Peace. I just want to scream and yell at these people. I cannot believe this is why I don't look at comments, because I get so pissed. I mean, this person here says many other people change their live stream videos and re-upload them. This isn't a special SpaceX thing. Most of the big creators can do it. It requires going through a review process, but happens all the time. You guys are, I mean, stupid as a bag of shit. Yes, so why didn't they re-upload the video? When you re-upload the video, it doesn't say streamed live anymore. It says uploaded on such and such date, which means that they changed the live stream. We would know that. They allowed them to change it, but it still says streamed live on. Again, if you edit your comment in YouTube, guess what? It requires that it puts the word edited in your fucking comment. You're some nobody. And they want you to make sure that if you're going to change your comment, you got to put edited. But if you want to change a video, it don't matter. We'll just change your live stream. Who cares? Yeah, this person's retarded. And there's more retarded people in here. This person says, SpaceX editing their stream does not change the end result that those rockets did fly and land. Fucking loser. I mean, these people are worthless to me. Worthless human beings that can't even see their way out of a paper box. Jaren gets so worked up about the SpaceX video being changed. News alert, we knew the Earth was round before SpaceX was a thing. You're a fucking genius. I mean, wow. How are these people allowed to live? I mean, I don't get it. No wonder the country's in the shape that we're in. No wonder we're in deep shit. You think these guys are going to go head to head against the government, against tyranny? Fuck no. They're going to bend over and take it in the ass. That's what they do. It's just the most disgusting lack of understanding of the way the world works. It's just ridiculous. And it infuriates me that anybody would be okay with this kind of shit. Jaren's scared of a number. So dumb. Because I brought out that 666 is put in everything on purpose. It's not scared of a number. I don't give a shit about the number. What am I scared of? Let me see if we can find it. I wanted to give this guy props, but I cannot find it anywhere. I even searched SpaceX. There's only 6 comments that talk about SpaceX, and none of them are the one. Let's just download a little bit more. Anyway, wanted to give the guy credit. What he basically said was, hey, guys, why don't you realize what Jaren's saying and the implications included in it? I wanted to give him props, but I can't see. You know what's crazy? What if McToon deleted it? Now I got to finish it off. I got to go to the bottom of this, because if it's not in here, it means he deleted the one comment of somebody who wasn't even saying anything bad about. He was just saying, why don't you recognize what Jaren's saying? And it is gone. Damn, the thing is, I can't accuse him of deleting, because what if the guy himself deleted it? Speaking of same thing, Astronomy Live, loser. And he says, call me a space cuck. I'll call you tons more names than that. He says, Jaren, I tracked the Falcon Heavy booster the SpaceX livestream didn't initially show. I tracked it from launch to landing, uncut. I know you know this. There's a frame of my video visible at 1:58:15 in this livestream as you scroll around your video. That is the same booster now that hangs in the ceiling of the Gateway exhibit. None of this means shit, Astronomy Live. You're so gay, it hurts. Call me names all you like. Call me a space cuck. It doesn't change the fact that I didn't even see the live stream, and I didn't need to rely on the live stream. I was there. Cool. Was everybody there? Loser? I saw it in person. I tracked it myself while thousands of people were watching. They saw me do it too. Thousands of people saw you? Okay. And you know what happens to people who commented on my videos from these launches thanking me for letting me see that my telescope was tracking? They get harassed by space deniers who accuse them of lying because they validate that I'm telling the truth, that space deniers can't tolerate that. What do you mean? You film things going to the sky, dipshit. That's it. How are you proving anything? Do you film them go into space? No. They need my video to be as fake as you think SpaceX is, so they can't handle it when people verify that they saw me track it the whole way without interruption. I now have to warn people not to post on my comments when I tell them about my channel to try and prevent them from being, yeah, right, liar. Oh, here's my channel, but don't post because you'll get harassed. Oh boy. Let's see here where this person is fact. Amen to that. Is it just me or did McToon? Okay, where's this? It's sad that innocent people get attacked. Okay, great. It's one thing. Now I start thinking maybe that person put it in a reply that I'd have to open to see. Let's see if we can find it. No, as silly as his, okay, here we go. Here's somebody. As silly as his accusations are, he has a point about SpaceX changing the video without it being indicated as edited. It indeed disqualifies every live stream as a true depiction of events. Thank you to Schmidlpunkt. Thank you. Then somebody, here's Astronomy Live coming back at Schmidlpunkt. He says, no, it doesn't. I don't rely on their live streams. I film the launches for myself. I track the spacecraft they launch for myself. It doesn't matter. And I don't care if they edit the recording. Astronomy Live, you're a bitch. You're a little bitch. I cannot believe you are even allowed to live. Go be a government lackey. Go be a senator. Be a piece of shit. Go be fucking Gavin Newsom's little fucking fuck toy. It's disgusting. What do you exist for? I don't care if they edit their live stream after the fact. I can confirm for myself that it matches what I saw with my own footage. Ironically, if they hadn't edited the footage by inserting the correct footage for the correct booster, then it wouldn't match my footage because that's my booster I followed all the way to the landing, and the timing of its thruster pulses and engines would be slightly different. Here comes Schmidt-Punked back. He says, yes, and as you film every original event from every live stream ever made, this enables you to verify each case where it's edited. You fucking dipshit, do you see what he's saying to you? Of course you don't record every live stream that there ever was. So your answer of, but I did record it so I know that it's true, doesn't help the fact that they changed a live stream. Retard. But this isn't his point. Much more his claim is that people who don't have any supernatural abilities to be everywhere at once cannot be sure that recorded live streams are actual live streams or edited videos like everything else on YouTube. So this has an implication for the medium entirely independent from the question discussed. And I am quite fascinated that for everything Jaren does not grasp, he is entirely right on this one, while quite a lot of McToon's followers, who I would have thought bring along the ability to understand the matter completely, miss the actual cultural importance of this. This falls into the same category as editing tweets. It entirely removes the documenting quality of a live stream as a format. 100%. Schmidlpunk, thank you for being a real person. We can have different opinions on the shape of the earth, whatever, but I would understand that you would be somebody that would fight tyranny with me, that would end corruption, things like that. These other guys, ass kissers, they would let the government fucking probe them. They don't care. I hear what you're saying, but as far as implications for the platform go, that's off topic as far as I'm concerned. I have plenty of complaints about YouTube as a platform if you want to hear them. Are any of them that they have single-handedly made every live stream no longer dependable? Because that's what I'm saying. So I'm not talking about the other problems I have with YouTube. I'm sure McToon and others do as well. The topic under discussion in this context is whether SpaceX is hoaxing their missions or not. No, it's not. That wasn't the point. I even said numerous times, this doesn't prove anything about whether SpaceX is faking it or anything. It's the implication that's involved. You can't get that. Here comes Schmidt-Bunk. He says, the idea of hoaxing a mission with hundreds of people watching all around the location, seeing not the rocket but the boosters, is utterly idiotic. But a company being allowed to improve details in contradiction to the events is absolutely a problem, and not just one of the usual nagging usability issues, but indeed a huge loss of credibility for the entire platform. The video, as shown, displays events which never happened that way, as small as the differences may be. Beautiful. Even if you think the idea of hoaxing the launch is silly, and I agree it is silly, that is the subject at hand, not YouTube as a platform. These guys just make up their own things. I mean, it's just ridiculous. just sad that I can't believe we have to live with these people. I mean, it's just baffling to me. You can say whatever you want against flat earthers, but flat earthers will go to bat for you. Flat earthers will fight tyranny with me. Flat earthers will call out corruption when it's there. Well, most of them, let's say. But globe earthers, I've lost all appreciation for you, even as humans. I don't get it. How do you say, like, oh, everybody re-uploads it? Yeah, why didn't they do that? If I made a mistake in my live stream, I re-upload it. It's my only choice. Just crazy. Now there's 10. Let me see if there's anything else. That one we got. SpaceX took the valves off the tires. What's that mean? How did Jaren get so far off topic? He is so obsessed with a single SpaceX launch, no one cares. Yeah, that's the point, dipshit. These guys are... There's been like 100 launches since then. We actually go to space. These guys cannot even think for a moment. He's so obsessed with SpaceX changing a live stream that he looks past...
Yes!
Thank you.
Yes!
That he looks past all the completely deceptive flat Earth memes. Someone cropped pictures to make it look like Branson's space plane was at 50 miles when it was actually at 9 miles. Why would they do that? He's starting to use the Witsit method. Hold on a second. So you want me to go around calling out flat earthers for deceptive memes? That's equal to a platform that is the #1 website in the world who has live streams, which people will assume means that it's streamed live, but they're actually able to be edited. Not all of them, but one. One company is able to change their live stream. And these guys don't get it. I mean, what are you going to do? All right, let's go to Brian Flat Earth Test. Welcome to the show. We're going to have to go to the 3-minute rule because I went too long now. Brian, how are you?
Can you hear me loud and clear?
Loud enough, yes.
Okay, good. Well, I only have like about 1 minute and 17 videos, so I just wanted to say a couple things.
Okay.
I wanted to give a shout out to Dave.
I thought you were going to shout out Nathan Oakley.
I'll go ahead and advertise for him the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app, because I had mentioned in a couple Discord servers about the astronauts getting stuck upside down and how they look like dunces, and it was like a strong argument, but I couldn't find it for the life of me. And so shout out to Iru Landucci too, because he's the one who made this video, and to me it's one of the best as far as proving the astronauts on wires. And David just put it out on his app, and it shows Mark Kelly getting stuck upside down, and the dude who plays the guitar gets stuck upside down. His face starts turning beet red.
Hatfield, yeah, it's
hilarious, man. But yeah, since I'm on strict 3 minutes, I'm gonna utilize it, man. So I'm a machine gun.
Okay.
Real quick, he had mentioned the moon earlier. On August 22nd, I filmed the Selenelium, and I got the sun coming up over the horizon, but there was a cloud deck, so I had to wait for it to come up over the damn clouds. And I showed the moon, then I showed the sun, and I'm just, I'm about maybe 15, 20 feet above sea level, and I'm not up in the mountains. Like, so to me, it's the best one. But here's the thing. So Ruev came back and looked at the time and of my location, said the moon was only at 3 degrees. When we see the video, I want anybody to say the moon's only at 3 degrees, but even if it was, if we draw a tangent from our feet, that puts the moon at 12,500 miles above our feet. So the globe diameter is not even that big. So there's no excuse to have no excuse. To me, this is one of the best globe proofs, and I caught it in August, and I've sent it to your Telegram, Jaren. So, man, I would appreciate if you played that 1 minute 17 video, man, of the Selenelium.
Yes, I think you said something. You said it was the best globe proof.
I mean, the best globe killer.
Gotcha.
Best flat Earth proof. So where the sun and the moon are in the sky.
Okay.
And, like I said, if you draw tangents to do the trig, even if you do the spherical trig, it destroys their model, man.
All right, we will play that right now, and then thanks for the video earlier too. Oops, what happened here? That was weird. I clicked on your thing, and it took me somewhere totally different. Why did it do that? Oh, there we go. Sorry. All right, now we're going here. Put it down there. All right, we'll watch this. Thanks, Brian.
All right, later.
Later. Let me bring this up for you, and we will watch this video. Let's go to... What did I do with this one? Nope. Hold on a second. Now I lost my scene again. Where did that go? YouTube. There we go. I don't see the... We will get it back. 1 second. I don't know where it went. What happened to that screen? Alright, that'll work. We'll check this out. Okay, we're going to start over. There we go.
This is the Selenium eclipse recorded from Jacksonville, Florida on November 8, 2022. The sun and moon are both above the horizon, and it is said to be the Earth's shadow casted onto the moon. I'm not so sure. You be the judge. The sun is about 2 degrees above the horizon. The moon is probably about 15 degrees above the horizon. And I'm about probably 30 feet above sea level. So you tell me.
And do you... Oh, yeah, I thought he was still here. Because I didn't see the shadow on the moon. Maybe you guys saw. I gotta look again.
And for any naysayers, I do realize you can't see the sun very good because it's so washed out. But you see degrees above the horizon. And I'm about probably 30 feet above sea level. So you tell me.
So I can't really tell. Is this the eclipse down here or something? Or is it being eclipsed? I just can't see it really. Because that doesn't look like there's any shadow there to me. But maybe I'm seeing it wrong. It's kind of hard to see. Whenever the next one is, we all have to get out there and try and film it. What is this? I mean, I'm probably using your phone too. You know, let's try and do it with a good camera, because I've seen some better video than that one. But
for any naysayers, I do realize you can't see the sun very good because it's so washed out.
It says, how could this be the Earth's shadow? So I guess maybe this is it here, kind of coming up this way. But anyway, thank you very much for that, Brian. Great work as always. Let's go to the next one. Who do we have here? Oops, that's not going to work well. Let me get off that screen. Let's go with this one. And let's go with the next person, who is Zexus.
Hey, what's up, man?
Did I get that right? Zexus?
Perfect. You hear me all right?
You're great. Go ahead.
All right. First thing, the dude at the casino, I got to get in contact with him because I'm in Arizona. I'm guessing he's at Talking Stick.
Tony Coriolis. Oh, I've been to Talking Stick many times. Picked up many a straggling women from there. But
right on.
I went there every March for years, for 2 weeks, from the time I was 19 through when I got married.
Yeah. Wow. So, anyways.
Good times. I like Scottsdale's great city.
Yeah. So a couple of weeks ago, I called in. I talked to you and Dave about how to approach a family or friend about the flat Earth subject without them freaking out.
Right.
Little update. So, a good friend of mine is in town, staying at my house with him and his wife, and on his last night here, we were talking about conspiracy stuff because he's, anti-government and whatnot, and it came out, and he kind of freaked out a little bit. He's like, well, I looked into it, and I just don't get it because it defies all these things. And I talked through, I gave him basic information, so he was all right. And then he flew home, and the next day my phone was blowing up with text messages of, well, what about this, and what about this, and what about this? And I literally just went on Dave's app, and I just grab a video and send him the video, and he'd be like, well, what about this? And that was all it was until it was just dead silence. So it's I just thought it was funny because I tried to approach it gently, but he just pushed and pushed. But it didn't affect our friendship or anything, so that's a cool thing.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, I think the app is the best way because we were talking the other night when I was on the asylum, and we're trying to come up with ways because you can't search flat Earth stuff anymore. It's all a disaster, right? But if you get somebody the app, if you just tell them, hey, everything on YouTube is curated for government state sponsored stuff. So what you do is by going to the app, if you get to here and you go to your featured video, what you're going to do is, what happened here? Oh, don't flip my phone that way.
Point Nemo.
Oh, geez. Hold on a second.
Just screwing around. I sent this to my friend, and I go, look, here, you want to see where the fake X rockets land?
Okay. So anyway, sorry about that, but I don't need to show you. Anyway, when you go to the archives, you actually can show somebody that all those videos have been curated by Dave. So they're all the good stuff, meaning you're not going to get the And then what they can do is if they watch the featured videos for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then you tell them go to YouTube now and search those same videos, see what you find, and they see all the propaganda, that's evidence, whether you see it that way or not. Yeah. And that may convince somebody to be like, wow, that's weird. Here's the real videos I was watching that made great points, but I can't find those on YouTube, even though they're YouTube videos I'm watching. They've just been hidden and then replaced by Professor Dave and MC Toon.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I just want to give you an update on that, and yeah, if that dude hits me up on Twitter, I'm a conspiracy extremist. Put me up, man. Let's go gamble.
Did you hear that, Tony Coriolis? He seems cool. I would hang out with Tony. I think I would have a good time with Tony, but I'm not going to Arizona for that. He's not that good. Let's make it that way.
Yeah, wait until the winner.
All right, thanks, Zexus. I appreciate it. Oh,
hey, with the about the number thing.
Wow, there's a 7.
Yeah, my life's going pretty good. I got 3 kids, a wife, 14 years, and so.
But do you have 7 wives?
Not yet.
All right. Okay. Give it time. All right. Thanks, Zexus. Later. We've got MIT or MIT, one or the other. I'm not really sure.
Hey, what up, buddy?
What's up, MIT or MIT, whatever am I calling you?
Timmy Osman. Good to talk to you.
Oh, Tim. Hey, what does MIT stand for?
It's Tim backwards.
Okay, that's a good point. Good point it is. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm well, man. I just kind of wanted to ask a few questions. You got the time, and
ask away. I'm even going to put 5 minutes on the clock special for you.
Thank you, my friend.
Go ahead, ask away.
You know, I've been around since you were dropping phones in water, and I've watched you for. I mean, we're coming up now. I mean, next year is going to be pretty much 10 years from Eric Dubé's late 2014.
Yeah.
200 groups or whatever, and you know, a lot of the things that we thought at the beginning, you know, I think that you've actually disproven yourself. Like the ISS, obviously you did awesome transits, props to you, and it kind of turned into, well, that doesn't mean that there's people on it. And, you know, you didn't think that the star trails worked on the sphere, and basically you kind of had a ball in your room with lights and or whatever, and you did that, and you kind of, you know, well, it does work. So, you know, I do applaud you on your somewhat honesty on that whole fact. Of
somewhat?
We're learning together, kind of.
Okay.
And, you know, at this point, when I see you go on, or when Witsit's on Modern Day Debate tonight and stuff, you guys really do not try to provide any evidence of the Earth being flat. Rather, you basically try to stump people with the globe, and that you'll kind of bring up some fallacies and some half-truths and some truths, and kind of be like, well, yeah, I mean, the amazing amount of cherry-picking that, you know, Witsit, for example, does to say, well, this science is correct, but this science isn't, because, I mean, at a certain point, I'm just wondering, like, how long are we going to do this for? You know, like I said, it's almost been 10 years. I look at the numbers of you guys. I don't think you're being censored. It used to be promoted heavily.
What do you mean? You don't think? What do you mean we don't think you're being we're being censored?
Because if they censored you, you would just be completely removed.
No. Okay. So what about suppressing? I mean, so it's suppressing.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Okay.
I think they probably do. And they didn't at first.
It's not a probably do. Yeah, we at first they were letting us compete with everybody else, and what happened is we got too popular. We beat Trump in the numbers, and then they got rid of that metric, so you can no longer see the search results, and then they shadow banned us. So you can say what you want about that, but
I think that there was an inflation, or rather, kind of an allowance of, you know, the next video being played at the beginning to be flat Earth. And
that's how YouTube works. That's how YouTube works. If you go watch a makeup tutorial and that's what you like on YouTube, then the next video is a makeup tutorial. That's how YouTube works. So it's nothing. There's no promoting flat Earth, nothing like that. If people liked the content, then the next video was flat Earth. What are you crying about?
I'm actually trying to have a good conversation with you.
Yeah, but your good conversation went south when you started saying that we're making up lies, that we're.
I didn't say that.
You said that Witsit is cherry picking evidence, as if
he does.
So the globe, people don't cherry pick evidence?
That's neither here nor there. I said that Whitsitt, he will basically go through science and then cherry pick which he likes to accept that he thinks that goes with his narrative.
Okay.
And then just on the face deny. And really, that shouldn't even be that controversial, dude.
Well, it's not that controversial. I mean, because so I guess my problem with you saying that we don't provide it, number one, things like mirror flashes and things like that, they just won't be accepted by globe believers. So I don't know what you mean by we're not providing evidence anymore. It's because we provided evidence and nobody cares. So at that point, you're what?
I think there was the Black Swan, which was, still kind of touted around. But like, I remember when you and Cammie and Bob and you guys were trying for the model, and now you guys are accepting the azimuthal equidistant map on Dave Weiss's app that we both know doesn't work as far as the sun doing its southern trajectory on the Earth during the southern hemisphere summer. It would have to go twice as fast in that outer run.
Yeah.
So we kind of just like
so
go
does
back
it?
to the
Wait, hold on a second. Does a minute hand on a clock or a second hand, does it go twice as fast where the numbers are versus on the inside of the hand? No, the hand sweeps equal distance in equal time. So the sun moves the same. It's the same 15 degrees an hour. You can say it moves faster all you want, and if you're talking, what?
It would have to be
sure,
the observation.
right. So then, I mean, okay, then on a tire, the outside of the tire moves faster than the inside of the tire, right? But the tire still moves as one piece. The tire is one piece. The spokes, you could take different spots on the spokes and say each of those spots moves a different speed, but the tire moves as one piece. So it's the same.
The sun is traveling overhead on a flat Earth.
Correct.
And you understand that in the northern hemisphere, at its top northern hemisphere rung, when it's in the summer, that is a much shorter circle in circumference than the southern hemisphere summer. Am I correct?
Correct. But it's not twice.
Okay, but what if it was 1.5? Would that
Sure.
change the 15 degrees per hour?
Never. Nothing would. Meaning that even if we extended the flat Earth plane infinitely, and then let's say that the sun on the way outside still had to go around in 24 hours, well, you could still say it's still moving equal. It's still 15 degrees an hour. Right?
Yes, with observations, the sun, if it's overhead,
Yes.
You know where I'm going with this.
No, I really don't, because what I'm saying is we've actually shown that people in the South, so if you go to Australia or you go to New Zealand and you ask them to film a sunset, the sun sets and it's black within 5, 10, 15 minutes. Here in the North, when we see the sunset, it's hot. I mean, it's light for an hour and 15 minutes.
Twilight? Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, well, why is Australia to have different light? Shouldn't it be the same?
I'm not sure what that has to do with anything. I mean,
Because
just
the sun is moving faster. The sun moves faster,
Brian-
causing darkness to come quicker. That's why when their sun sets, they have 5 or 15 minutes of twilight, whereas in the North, we get much longer.
If you took a solar filter on a telescope or one of your cameras, do you think that there would be a difference in the southern hemisphere or the northern hemisphere?
There is a
Sunset?
difference. What do you mean? There is a difference
So
in
it
the sun.
doesn't change in angular size or speed basically throughout the day.
How are you
But-
calculating the speed? You're talking
Well, we
about
both
an
agree
item,
that the 15 degrees per hour, right?
right? But do you understand that it would be 15 degrees an hour no matter how far out the sun went?
But it's also being obstructed by the ground that we know is level to our feet.
The sun's never obstructed by the ground.
The sun is never obstructed by the ground, Jared?
Nope. No, what happens is you have atmosphere that builds up, that accumulates at the horizon line because everything goes there. That's how perspective works. And the sun goes behind the atmospheric deck. It's not, you just think it's the ground because when everything gets condensed at the horizon, everything's the same. You just assume because you've been taught, you've been told, you've been indoctrinated to believe that the sun goes down below the earth. But it doesn't.
Do you really believe that's what's going on, Jared?
100%. What do you think? I believe that we're on a spinning space rock in space that doesn't even. So you've heard me talk about it. Why is this not evidence? You say, "Oh, I'm trying to debunk," or "I'm trying to." What did you say? I'm trying to stump globe earthers. Okay. How about something as simple as this? What happens when we take up a weather balloon full of helium? It starts to go up, and what happens? What happens at 120,000 feet?
Usually pops.
Okay. Why does it pop?
The lack of atmosphere. I mean, there's a
Right.
density gradient that goes up.
There's no pressure anymore holding the balloon in, and the gas is dying to get out and equalize, so it does. And it pops through the balloon, and it goes everywhere in space, right? Because we know and can prove and can show in any test that gas always disperses into a vacuum. Now, you believe that sometimes, just because the men tell you, sometimes it does the complete opposite, which can't be shown in any test or any experiment. It's never been shown at all. It's just told you that, oh, well, Jupiter is a gas planet. Well, what do you mean? When we put gas in space, it goes outward, not inward. How big of a balloon, Tim, do I need to make that when I put it up in space, instead of it expanding outward, then it decides, you know what, now I'm not going to expand outward. I'm going to do the opposite of what I have always done, and I'm going to pull into myself and become a planet or a sun.
This is kind of where I was talking to McToon about, like, you are really good at kind of diverting.
It's not diverting. It's the fact that you believe, you're coming at me about my beliefs about something, and you want me to
know what I believe.
Well,
you didn't ask me if I believe in Venus being a planet or any of that kind of stuff.
Okay,
You just assume.
Yeah, I assume that if you have a problem with what I'm saying, that all I'm trying to do, and you said we don't show proof, it's because I realized along the way that it's not my job to provide flat earth evidence for every single thing that people ask for. That's impossible. We've had, globe belief has had 400 years. Every government, every scientific institution, every mathematician, they've all been.
You guys said that people believed in flat earth before, so you guys have 1,000 or 10,000 years? I don't understand why you guys make that argument still.
Because what do you mean? We're way. Yeah, but aren't we way further along technologically?
Yeah, and that's why we have it so precise at this point.
What do you mean precise? I just told you about gas expanding in space impossibly.
No, that has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth, though. I don't care.
It absolutely does. It proves that gravity doesn't exist. I just proved gravity doesn't exist. If gravity existed, when that balloon got to space and popped, that would pull the gases back to the Earth. That the gravity is the strongest at the Earth. How come if we put a vacuum chamber on Earth with a little box of air in it, we evacuate the chamber and then we electronically open that little box, how come the air doesn't stay in there? The air disperses into the vacuum. So, if the what?
I came in here talking about the celestial points and the
right. So you don't want to talk. So here's the problem. This is the same thing as everybody else. You don't want to talk about the problems with the globe, but you don't want to talk about the problems with the globe. You just want to accept it.
That's your problem with the globe. That's not one of my problems with the globe.
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense.
Something random.
Pull up something random. I'm disproving gravity.
You're talking about a helium balloon, and you're
no. Start over. Start over.
You've observed it?
Start over. If I asked you, if I said to you that we can't have gas pressure on the Earth, how does there gas around here? It should disperse into the vacuum. What would you tell me is the reason that the atmosphere stays on Earth?
Gravity.
Okay, so now I'm telling you, if that were true, if that's true, that the gravity is holding the entire bulk of air to the Earth, then let's do an experiment. Take a gravity chamber on Earth and evacuate it, except for we're going to put one box of air in the middle of the room and it's electronically closed. Once we evacuate that chamber,
hypotheticals about gas pressure.
Can you please listen? Can you listen, because it will destroy your belief? If that box of air is electronically opened, if what you just said was true, if gravity was responsible for holding the atmosphere on Earth, then the gravity would hold the air in the box. But it doesn't. It disperses into the vacuum. So, if gravity isn't strong enough at the Earth to hold a little box of air, then how do you believe it's strong enough to hold all the air? Your beliefs, this is what people don't even understand. Your heliocentric beliefs don't even make any logical sense. We don't zoom through space.
Telling me about my beliefs on a higher.
Okay, do you think that we're going 1.2 million miles per hour?
Relative speed, or is that an actual speed?
1.2 million miles per hour in regards to the Great Attractor.
I'm indifferent to it. I never really believed it. I learned that from you. I learned all these speeds from flat earthers.
Right. So if I have a problem with that, then my options are to what? To just accept it, or I need to find the absolute proof in every way of flat Earth?
It has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. Even gravity has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth.
Oh my goodness.
If you wanted to prove with observations.
Gravity has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth?
when you're trying to prove through observation, because that's what it was. The synthetic approach
Hold on a second.
Was all about observations.
Hold on a second. How do you say?
Now it's hypotheticals.
It's not hypotheticals. It's evidence. It's proof. It's experiment. I'm asking you.
Did anyone do that?
We can do it if you want. We've had people offer to do it, but you don't need. Do you really think that you really believe that if we opened electronically the box, that the air would sit in the box?
I don't even know the relevance of that with the shape of the Earth. Are you trying to disprove gravity while we're talking about the shape of the Earth?
How do you?
Gravity be something different and the Earth be still a sphere or flat? Yes.
No, because there has to be a mechanism to make the sphere. Where did the sphere come from?
Where did the flat Earth come from? What's the mechanism, Jeremy?
Well, God created it. I'm guessing that's my only guess. Is that it's? I don't believe in it.
You're an atheist, aren't you? Are you agnostic or an atheist? What are you talking about, God?
I'm not. I'm just not a Christian. I believe in a creator, 100%.
Yeah, same here.
Okay, so without a doubt, there is a creator. This is not an accident. It's not just an explosion in space and humans appeared. It's by design. Now, do I know who that God is? No, I don't proclaim to know who that God is. I think that humans have a lot of different ideas about that God. And so that's what the holy books say, and that's what each society teaches their children about that God. It's just all the same God. But that's besides the point. The point that I'm getting at is you said earlier gravity has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth, but gravity is the only thing that has to do with the shape of the Earth. There's no other mechanism that makes spheres. But what I just told you is evidence, it's proof in every way that you can think about it, that gas cannot become, so they tell us mass attracts mass. Well, gas isn't attracted to mass. Gas isn't attracted. Because if it was, then it wouldn't disperse into space. It would be attracted. But it disperses into space. So now we know and can experimentally show that gas expands in space. So what do they tell me Jupiter is? Oh, that's a gas planet. What do they tell me the sun is? Oh, that's a gas sun. Well, what do you mean? How does it pull things to itself? How is it a sphere if gas expands in space and goes in every direction? And here's the thing. I have evidential proof. I can send up a balloon with a camera on it and show you that when it gets too high, that the balloon, because the gas is trying so hard to get out, it splatters the balloon and it goes out into space. Now you have to show me how when we have a certain amount of gas, somehow it pulls to the center and becomes a ball. But you can't show me that. It's just a belief said by men. So to me, same thing as the speed. What? I lost you. I don't know why you don't hear anymore. But think about the gas pressure issue. Here's my problem with what you're saying, is that you're basically saying until I have a replacement theory, I have to believe in the lie. And to me, I don't agree with that. I believe that if you have evidence or you have questions about the current theory, it is perfectly fine to ask those questions. It's perfectly fine to point things out. When you find out things like Edwin Hubble saying that, the absolute horror of a unique position, up until recently, I thought Edwin Hubble saw the universe expanding. Now I find out that's not even true. It's just another theoretical thing that they had to use to pass off the idea of why we look like we're in the center. So they said, oh, well, if everything's expanding, then okay, great. But nobody's ever seen the universe expand. It's just another story. And on top of that, you can keep going from that and say, okay, well then what about the Hubble's law? What about redshift? This is how they get all the galaxy distances and everything. It's not, redshift doesn't even exist in space. They never even told us that. How come there's Doppler when we see like an ambulance go by? The ambulance is coming, it makes the noise, and then the pitch changes as it goes by you, right? That's Doppler. That's redshift, because what's happening is as the air is coming towards you, it's compressing. And then as it's going away from you, the air is expanding. So it makes different pitch sounds. They tell us the same thing for the stars in space, but guess what they forgot? There is no medium. So there is nothing to compress the light as it's coming towards you and to release the light as it goes away from you, meaning that there is no redshift in space, meaning that there is no expansion of space, meaning that there is no Big Bang, meaning that there is no rewinding the sky clock. So these are facts. And, we've already seen them. Oh, the CMB. So if you're saying it's cherry picking by me saying all these problems with science, but then I say, hey, we have a cosmic microwave background, which correlates directly with the Earth. Okay. That's not cherry picking. That's me pointing that evidence. If you're going to believe that they're out there testing these things, then they probably, when they test this cosmic microwave background, how is it that it's lined up with the Earth?
You're the only one talking about all of these different things.
I know.
All I was talking about, and I really wanted to ask the question in that, as far as observations go, the sun, the moon, the stars, and the sun's angular size and its trajectory throughout the year, can you at least admit that the globe Earth has more evidence than the flat Earth? Because the flat Earthers, they don't even try to do a model or a map or anything that recognizes anything. They just say, I can see too far. And then Brian comes on and shows you a cell phone camera of some, it's like, what?
I agree with that. That wasn't
evidence to you?
I agree that wasn't the best evidence. But
so I'm just saying, which is better? Like, is there evidence for the globe? You've done these things.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you're talking about evidence, right? But you're talking about evidence for the globe, and you're talking about things that the globe explains. Or what do you mean? Give me an example of one thing. The ISS.
Let's just say the two celestial points, north and south,
okay,
and the star trails in the equator, and how they match up with your ground position and the sky that we can see. Does that match more on a flat Earth or a globe Earth?
Well, I would say that the way they describe it on the globe doesn't seem to work to me. You wouldn't see, for instance, if you're just north of.
Which one matches better, though? That's the question.
What matches
with
better?
Your
they
representation of the Zodiac clock app from David Weiss,
right?
Or the globe Earth that I saw you test personally.
How?
And was watching you. Which one works better with our observation?
Which globe Earth did I test personally that you watched me?
Didn't you have a ball in your room with lights on it? Did you not do that?
Yeah, you mean the one where I put a flashlight showing, or a laser beam showing that it goes to the North Celestial Pole? Yes, that proved that star trails do work on a globe. Is that what you mean?
No, I'm just saying which one has more evidence. I don't want to say prove.
Yeah.
Really proving is for yourself. You prove things
Thank you.
to
Yes.
yourself.
I would say that if you're talking about which one has more evidence, I would say that the globe has more evidence of that matches the story. But again, you have to believe the story.
No, it's observations. I'm talking about observations. I don't care what man says. I'm saying you and I, we go out. I'm in Utah. You're in California.
Okay.
We can do observations of the sky at night.
Okay, so when we do
the southern hemisphere together.
So who tells a better? So who tells a better story? The sun or the moon, considering they're the exact same size in the sky. So does the flat Earth work better, or the globe Earth that tells us that one is 400 times as far and 400 times as big, and yet we just don't know that? We have to trust men. And the sun is 895,000 miles wide. Do you think that our observations match that?
With solar and lunar eclipses, I think it definitely does give a little bit of credence to it.
How so?
Sure.
How so?
Because they match exactly. Let's take the extreme coincidence and talk about a creator at this point with the 400 times larger and 400 times further. That's amazing. But when there's a solar eclipse and there's lunar eclipses and the moon phases, I think that's another thing I could ask you. Does the flat Earth model on David Weiss's Zodiac app work better, or does the globe? Because you can go to Stellarium, you've messed with it, I've seen you.
Yes.
So the globe does match better with observations, correct, than the flat Earth Zodiac.
Well, I think again you're falling for like the trick of what I always call like the cookies at Christmas, right? That they're
does it though? That's the question, Jared. Does it?
No, because again, you're talking about. Look, I'm going to Stellarium right now, so you can see that what they do is they cheat by showing you a view that you don't even see. Okay, so this view here. Let me see this. Let me get this out of here. Okay, so this view here that we see, you can kind of see it. Is they show the Earth like this, and they nobody can ever see this view, right? So if we do this view and we start fast forwarding through this, and it's like, oh, look at how the sky spins. So, but we don't see that view. Never. Like this is showing. Look at where it says. It says north, east, west. Can we see north, east, west by looking in one direction? No, these would be west and east should be 90 degrees. They should be.
Camera.
Huh?
I mean, with a huge wide-angle lens, you could probably.
Right, and when you have a wide-angle lens, what does a wide-angle lens do?
It definitely distorts, yes.
Right, and it makes circles. So when you see this, you're like, oh, look at all the circles in the sky. This matches the globe. Well, yeah, because you're looking at it wrong. You're looking at it wrong.
So you're saying that David Weiss's app works better than Stellarium for observations of any star in the sky?
No, I didn't say that. You're talking about observations of any star in the sky? So here's my problem. Here's my problem though. I don't think it's fair to ever require of flat earthers who are what do we have? 50 people sitting at their computers across the United States and across the world. So you've got 50 people with no money, no funding versus 500 years of every government, monarchy money, the kings, the queens, every exploration that's ever been done in a boat south of the equator, every mapping of coastline, everything that's ever been done has been paid for, funded by the government. Guess what? Flat Earth has had $0. You want to go toe to toe? Give us 500 years. Give me the best mathematicians. Give me a bunch of jerks who want to lie to people. Give me the money that they've got. Give me all the kings and queens money. Give me all the boats, all the ships, and we will be able to do an equal job at providing evidence for you.
You need people that will lie to people to prove flat Earth? Is that what you just said?
Well, I'm just saying if we have the same thing the globe got.
Okay, but it matches the observations better.
You're not listening to me. You're listening. Give me okay, and I'll agree with you. I'll agree with you. It matches better. So here you go. The globe matches better. However, if you gave me 500 years and you gave me all the money and you gave me all the government money and kings and queen money, then I could do a better job matching observations with the flat Earth.
Do you know that?
Yeah, I think so because there's just.
First off, 500 years. I mean, you're not going to be along that lot. You're not going to be alive that long.
I grant you.
And really,
and it will never happen anyway, right? Government's not going to give me money to go prove their schools are wrong. So,
but there's a giant hole in the flat Earth, and that was kind of my point.
Okay, what is it?
Nobody's even trying to match observations anymore.
Right, because we don't have any. We don't have any funding. We don't have anything.
Why you had plenty of funding and you got awesome cameras and stuff. I mean, you did stuff. I saw you do things. That was great.
And what do you think?
We have $0 because you got money from people. You got cameras.
Yeah, we got P900. P900 was donated. Yep.
That was awesome. And so maybe I mean, like I did my Salt Lake observations and told every flat earther, hey, come up here. It's high in altitude.
Mm-hmm.
That you can get some great observations. I showed you about 7 years ago on a private call that I still have. That
right.
We talked, and it was a great conversation. I'm not dogging on you at all. But the thing is all of this stuff has to be kind of brought into it. Well, the sun does 15 degrees per hour. It looks
so
like
let me just say this, and let me just
the perspective wall.
Let me say this, and I got to go because I only have one more person.
Thank you for the time, my friend.
Yes, and let me just say one thing that we need to do more of what you're talking about, back out and observing and doing that. But one thing that I'll tell you for sure is that it doesn't matter to globers at all. You do realize that. Doesn't matter how many times we prove it, how many times we show it. It doesn't matter what observation I make. I've now realized that you can see as far as you want, and the globe will just say it's refraction. So if you want me to go out and spend money
That's
and spend,
what you do with the sun. That's what you guys do. You say, I mean, I just listened to Whitsitt on Modern Day Debate today. They were talking about the sun setting. Well, there's a perspective wall, and then there's all these really advanced things that I'm going to throw at you, some word jargon.
No,
that's what you guys do too, though.
No,
you can't just blame it on us.
What do we? Hold on a second. What did I just say that you then interrupted and said that Whitsitt was talking about? I was talking about refraction.
Yeah, but you guys bring in all of these things just like you did earlier in this conversation. In that, how does the sun set? Well, it goes behind a perspective wall, and it goes by. It's all these different things.
Are you saying perspective doesn't exist?
No.
Okay. Well then. I don't know because that's just a known thing. That's what perspective does.
So perspective would have the sun getting smaller as it goes on.
Not items that are removed from your view. How many? Go look at P-Brain's video. P-Brain shows a tennis ball and another tennis ball. When you're behind the tennis ball on the ground, you get a difference of like ×7, right? The ball is reduced in size 7 times because you're behind the ball. As soon as you lift the camera up on top of the one ball, get a distance away from it, all of a sudden the balls are the same size. So that's what the sun is. The sun is removed from us already.
Yeah, I got you. Hey, thanks for the explanation.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thanks for the time. But also, hey, we'll have to do. If you ever want to chat with me, let me know. Because we'll just have a decent
Are you close to Lake Tahoe?
I'm close to Great Salt Lake, man. I'm in Salt Lake City.
Oh, okay.
So there's amazing observations, and I've come out to Tahoe to meet you. But there's no place that I've found, and I've done observations all over, like the Great Salt Lake. there's terrible days with refraction. There's terrible.
How many miles is it wide?
Well, it's 60. It matters which way you look. But I got Strong's Knob looking 36 miles away, and you can only see it if you gain a little bit of altitude. And as you gain more altitude, you can see more. I have drone work. I have the Great Salt Lake that's 28 miles away, and I have so much video of that. I mean, it's so evident when you come out here on a decent day. But
okay,
thanks, brother.
Talk to you later. All right, last call. No more people calling. We got JR 5 times 1,000 equals 5,000. How about my math skills?
Hey, what's up, Darren? How you doing?
Good. Ready to
hear me okay?
have my evening joint and enjoy the couch out in the garage for a little while.
Man, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. And you know, my own peace of mind and everything. I'll keep it short. But a comment, and I got maybe a dumb question at the end. But for me, I don't trust any of the chats anymore. I don't buy into it, and I haven't for a while.
Any of the what?
Believe any of the chats, any of the things that go on in that chat anymore, and I don't think it's real. And I've gotten into arguments back and forth before in the past when it just gets so off-railed, like it's almost learning,
Yeah, that's scary because I've had the same thing happen, and I was like, these people cannot be real.
Yeah, and I don't really believe it is. I really don't believe it is, and I think it consumes you. And I just got consumed in a argument earlier this week on a video. I posted something, and someone else commented, and it just dogpiled on me, and I'm like, this is like flat Earth content. There's way too many globers here. It's just I don't know any other channel or anybody else's channel that has so much backlash on it the way people in the flat Earth community do.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
And I don't think it's real. I don't believe callers that call in. They say they've been listening to you forever, and then they don't know shit about you or what you talk about.
Right.
They ask your religion, and you just had a whole series on your iconoclasm. When I hear that kind of, all this pisses me off. Big supporter, but then refers to you guys and
Yeah.
Why isn't there reports, in books that we can go back to for? You've already talked about that. You've already done episodes that talked about publish. Go ahead and try to publish a book. That's why there's a publishing house. Go ahead. Try to do something ever in the past and let that book continue to go on. That was the first form of control. I get it. You try to publish something against the system. Of course, books slip out, but they're on record, right?
Right.
So, I just get into it. I just can't do the whole chat arguing. I don't think it's real. I think it's altered just to stir people up and keep. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I've noticed a big thing, and I don't know how to really address it, but it's like it can consume you. It's like by design or something. And I don't know if you know what's been going on with me. There's a couple mods that know, but for over a year and a half, I've had this attack that has been. I'd have to have my mods talk about it because we deal with it constantly. It's this group of people that come in and they pretend to be different people and they act like they're girls and they try and say shit about me in my chat, and then people get in arguments with. It's just this whole nightmare. And it's we constantly have to deal with it.
You. Like this last caller, I think he's trying to bait you on saying something for later, just use later on or something. On don't you? It's just I don't know. I can see.
I can't understand like people like that. I just don't get where the question is simple. It's that what we've been told seems like a complete and total farce now, and they're like, well, doesn't it match better? No part of what I see makes me think I'm on a spinning space rock in space. That's so ludicrous to me now that it doesn't matter even if everything matched. It doesn't then say, oh, well, then you're definitely on a spinning rock in space, flying through the vacuum, and the little smart scientists, they can look back in time and we can see 25 trillion miles. None of that makes any sense to me anymore. It seems laughable. Yeah. So, and I should be allowed that.
Absolutely. And these little finite arguments over, it gets, lately it just seems like it gets down to the molecule, and then it's like, oh, you don't believe in the molecule? Then it's a globe. And it's like, what? You're way off track. I mean, listening from early on, okay, I've been around quite a while too, I'll say. But you know what? Here's the thing. When Flat Earth started up and all those views were popping up, man, the conversations were so much better.
I agree.
You had hundreds of people you were chatting to, and it was more of awareness. It was more intelligent. I don't know what to even. It was different.
Yeah, now things are.
It
You're
was a
right.
lot
Now things are
different.
just disgusting. Now, I mean, the fact that we're arguing now about whether you can condense images, to me is like, I got to get out of here. Like, what am I doing? Like,
Exactly.
I don't want to be doing this in 20
What is
years.
that?
Like,
Yeah.
And here's the thing: if we can't, as a society, agree, like, well, here's a straight line, and when we condense it, it shows curve, and then everybody agree, oh, if that's true, then we can't use this as evidence anymore. Great, now let's move on. If we can't do that, then we got to go. I mean, what are you going to do? I keep banging my head against the wall and keep having to explain to people why changing live streams is wrong, why we can't condense images because we can condense straight lines and they turn into curve. I can't do that the rest of my life. I'll go crazy.
Yeah.
And it might be by design.
Yep.
The more questions, the more that they get us to talk about this little nonsense stuff, the less stuff that actually gets done that means something.
I absolutely believe the same.
Yep.
I mean, there's been so many times the globe had an opportunity to prove itself.
Oh man, time and time again.
Space and cameras and have people film a SpaceX launch and landing. Let's get out there. Let's really see if that's really happening and make it real. If it's so real, make it real. Why it can't be such.
But again, here's the thing: is that what people forget too is if that let's say we do go out there and we film this thing land, the rocket land. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that the rocket is what we're told. For all we know, it's a cylinder filled with helium. So to prove it, you're gonna have to show me much more than just because this is what they do. They plant things like that so that they're like, oh, go out and film it. And then you go out and film it and you go, oh, it is real. And then everybody believes that everything about it is real. That's what deception is. So this is the problem, is that none of these guys ever think like they're being deceived. They just think everything we're being told is true, even though you can clearly see it's not true. But we are thinking in ways, I think in ways of if we're being deceived. And that's why certain things are not evidence for me. Like, and these guys are deceiving when they show you a horizon and say, look, we condensed it and it shows curve. And then I say, look here's my countertop. It's flat, it's level. When I condense it, I show curve. And they're like, oh yeah, well, that's different because no, it's not different. I'm trying to show you that that's not evident. Anyway, it's like, if
I know.
We just fight left and right, and it's like, if we can't get anywhere,
they don't get the indoctrination either, because they have people, when you bring it up, they have this image of what the flat earth is already, and they don't even know where they got it from.
Right.
They have no idea how they got that image in their head, where they learned it.
So where'd you fall off the edge? Where'd you fall off the edge? I mean, that's taught to you. You're a repeater. You're doing exactly what would happen in a deception, that they would teach people to argue on their behalf. Why has science never stood up and done shit about this? Why are they depending on McToon and Fight the Fat Shirt to do all their work for them? Why don't they have a Friday night special, 8 o'clock on Fox? We're going to prove that it would be, you could build something like Brian Mullen talked about. You could build something that would take up a little space in Utah, and you would have schools taking field trips there, showing the curvature. They don't do that. How about the fact, how many times do I have to ask?
Do the opposite, right? Shoot a laser and explain the curve that we're going to see.
Right.
Let's go out and match that up.
And how about this? They always talk about, oh, you get to see the ISS and this. Why is it that nobody on the ISS has ever taken a camera to the window at night? It's so simple. Think about what I'm saying, and Globers will make excuse rather than just go, I hate Jaron. I think he's a liar. I think he's a grifter. But he's got a point. If they've never showed in 22 fucking years an astronaut go to the window with a camera and show the nighttime, then I should probably ask NASA to do that. Instead, they tell me, oh, they don't have better things to do than show the window at night. Oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That in 22 years, it's never been done. Makes a lot of freaking sense, guys. It's never been done because they can't do it. They can't show the Earth with lights on it and the stars in space. We know that. And that's what would be able to be seen when it's dark out. But we don't even get to see that. So, hey, JR, thank you so much.
You know what? Let me do I have a silly question for you real quick. If maybe I was trying to investigate it. Okay, the snow at the North Pole. If it snows up there.
How would I know?
Does it continually, this might be dumb. Does this continually accumulate over hundreds and hundreds of years? I mean, because you look
it also
at the
melts.
Altitude. So if it's always below freezing, and it's constantly snowing, because
wait, why is it always below freezing?
Kirkwood, when you're above the Arctic Circle, they say, right? It's pretty much below freezing. Because I'm just using
even in like June.
In June?
Like when it gets 24 hours of sun is what I'm saying.
I don't know how far you'd have to be before it
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know either. I'm looking up. It's North Pole summer is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. How about this? So the average temperature of the North Pole at the summer is 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and the average temperature at the South Pole -18. What sense does that make, Globers?
So I don't see how the snow wouldn't always, over hundreds and hundreds of years, continually accumulate up there.
It's a good question. I think they would say
that's part of my reason about the flood. If there's hidden technology in the back, maybe that's how the flood. Maybe they used something, air balloons. Maybe the powers that be broke across thousands of miles of shelf snow and ice that was piled up 5-10 miles high from 100 years of snow, and just pushed that all south. That took out. I don't know.
No, it's an interesting thought. I'm going to look into this too. I wrote that down because, yeah, that makes me think too. You're right. I don't know. I'm trying to think because what they do is they do the ice cores, right? And they calculate. They take, let's say that 7 inches of snow is every year. Then they just go to these ice cores and they can calculate. They just take 7 inches and they go down until they get to a certain year. But yeah, if you think about it, you're like, wait a second. So if it accumulates at 7 inches per year, well, then how many years until it's way up in the sky,
Yeah, I mean, look at Kirkwood. Kirkwood up in the Sierras got over 70 inches in 2 months this year. 70 inches of snow.
Right. So if that happens, then if you even say
runs through the north or even the south,
right,
dumps.
You should have it just piling up, and then you have more piling up because if it doesn't melt, and if it shows that the temperature in the summer is 32, well, that's freezing. So you're not getting much melt from that. So anyway,
never heard that talked about. I thought that was
good comment. Good call. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thanks, Jaron.
All right, peace.
All right, brother.
So what did we learn today? We learned that we should, number one, use Dave Weiss's app, and number two, that the globe is just utter ridiculousness. And I'm waiting. One of you Globers, can you please tell me how I'm supposed to rectify this idea of balloons in space? That if we take gas into space, it goes in every direction. So what I'm supposed to believe is that somehow it goes in every direction, but not when there's so much of it that it decides to become a thing and go to the sun, which we just know is not true. If it were true, then when we take a balloon up to space and it bursts, then that gas would go into a sphere. It would, go into a sphere and become a sphere. It's just ridiculous. And yet people want to say like, oh, you guys haven't done anything in 8 years. Yeah, well, we don't have any funding. And it doesn't mean just because they tell a story about Jupiter or about planets or about suns that I'm like, oh, well then, since I don't know how the flat earth works identically, then I'm just going to believe these known liars and atheists who clearly have a bias against the creator that will do anything they can to remove the idea of an intelligent design. I mean, these guys think that because they can break a chair down to its very minutest details and show you the quote unquote atoms or molecules or whatever you want, that the chair doesn't need a creator all of a sudden. No, just because you broke it down and can tell me every element that's included in the chair doesn't mean somebody didn't create the chair. So I can recognize creation when I see it and say, oh, this chair I'm sitting in has purpose. Somebody made it for a sitting utility. And we can look at the earth and say, oh, the earth has purpose. Somebody made it. Okay, I don't say, oh, it's accidental. Because you can crash a plane 1,000,000 times, 1,000,000,000,000 times, 1,000,000,000 times. You will never, ever get something. You will get a destructive mess. But yet we're told somehow everything works the opposite. Just animals that are natural selection, but everything gets better, everything gets strong. I mean, it's like, no, these are just simple adaptation. There is no transitional species. There is no evolution. They need the timeline. There is no dinosaurs 67 million years ago. It's all horse stuff. Let me say thanks to the people who sent in some sort of super chat. Much appreciated, you guys. I do appreciate it. Let's get down here and see if there was any super chats on the YouTube. And I did miss last show too, so I'll call those out as I was in a rush to go to class. Randy Hilarski was there tonight. If you want to hear Randy's take on his good friend Richard Hart, you can go to patreon.com/Jeranism. You get access to every back class we have now. It's like over 100 classes. So you would never get through it all. August 11th is today. Yes, thank you very much to Charlie. Charlie, what's up? We didn't have Charlie join us on the show. At $20, thank you very much. We got $2 from Christopher Allen. We've got $20 from Roger Kelly, who says, please don't scam me, Jaron. Keep up the good work. God bless. YouTube won't let me write the word scam. Really? It's kind of weird. I can vouch for that. Try to give it to you on Rokfin all the time. Rarely works. Okay. Do you have Cash App? I see you're Canadian. Cash App's better than YouTube. I'm putting that down here so that we can get Rokfin to take care of that. Thank you very much for those. Those are the super chats. I appreciate it. Let's go over to the Rokfin personas, the good people over there in Rokfin land, and let's see what we got. Thank you very much. $40. We'll take it. Very kind of you. Help keep the show going. Justin Johnson says, Jaron is the only Flat Earth heavy hitter that hasn't given me a wrench on YouTube. I'm offended. Justin Johnson, go check your status as we speak. And you don't owe me an apology because I read that comment earlier and then went and did it during my off time. Anyway, Harmon, thank you very much for the $10. Very kind of you. And Hubble's Whore, thank you very much for the $10. He says, thank you, Jaron. Very kind of you guys. Thank you very much, everybody. It's been much appreciated. Tomorrow I've got a show with Brian Leakey. He's going to be talking about the various different ideas surrounding... why am I drawing a blank? What are we doing, Brian? We're doing the 5 different methods of gravity. So we're going to be talking about the versions of globe gravity, the versions of electrostatic, all that. So it should be a pretty quick show, maybe an hour and a half. And I believe we are doing it at, let me check, 6 p.m. Is that correct, Brian? Brian would know better than me. Let me look at my calendar. And tomorrow's the 12th. And we've got consultation. But we've got 6 p.m. Pacific. Me and Brian Leakey will be right here. Same bat channel. Not time. Just same bat channel. That's it. So thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it. Let me see if anybody's saying anything special over here at the Rokfin. We've got a couple people. The Salt Lake is half empty, just like his point of view. Thank you for Donner Schlager. I haven't seen you in a while. How you been? We've got the rate of the sun is the same rate equals distance over time. We've got Harmon says, caught another live show. What up, buddy? What's up, 3B? Big Buddy Bob. Tony Coriolis now says, find him on Instagram, Tony Coriolis. And whenever you hear Tony Coriolis, you know that you've got to include the... What is this? Bunch of things here that are new. You got to include the... there we go. Tony Coriolis song. Don't forget that. What is this? I got to go through all. You got so many before that... Like, what's this one?
Why don't you give me a name and a face and a reason why?
I love my soundboard. I really do. I just need to get it organized because there's just shit everywhere. And what is that?
I am very willing to let the American public judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness.
Oh, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. What is this? Mercedes.
Mercedes found a solution to a problem out on the streets. People in traffic play with their phones, get bored, and listen to loud music. They do everything besides pay attention to what's going on around them. That means people start building a corridor for the ambulance.
Okay, watch me how quickly I delete that one. See you, Mercedes. Goodbye. I don't even have time to wait for you to get funny. Delete. All right. We are out of here. I was going to say something else. Oh, you'll never believe what happened. This is going to upset people very much. It upset me. So there's this new scam on YouTube. Let me explain the scam. Here's what you do. You put out a bunch of music on your website and you say, here, non-copyrightable music. Use my music all you want. So people go there. They're like looking for music that doesn't have copyright. I found Tell 'Em How. Let me play you a little bit at the beginning. You'll recognize this. Ever heard that before? Or this. Different versions. This one. This one. Okay. I like the song. I was a big guy. Good fan of the song. I like it. It's kind of amped up. I like it for the ending. So I put it in every one of my videos at the outro. Every single one of them, right? So what do you think the scam is? 3 years down the road, after you picked up those musics from the copyright-free website of these people, then what do? They go in and they put a claim in on YouTube. So what does that do? It immediately causes a copyright claim on every video I have. Okay? So now granted, I don't make any money off ads anyway, so they really didn't get much from me, and it doesn't hurt me much because none of those videos were monetizable anyway. But there's about 10 that I have to go through and edit out. It's just such a joke. I mean, what a scam. It should be that if you used it when it was, now granted that they only take the money from now forward, right? So it's not like they can go back and say, oh, well, Jaron used it for these 3 years and he made this much money. No, they can't do that. But they can take it from now going forward. But the problem is all of my videos from the past have that music in them. So from this day forward, any video that is played, if it is monetizable, I don't make any money. It all goes to Tell 'em How, not Tell 'em How. What's the name of the group that sings it? I forgot. St. Charles, something. I forgot the name of them. Anyway, just pisses me off. So now I've got to find an entire new song for my ending, and I have to be careful that it's not going to eventually be copyrighted. So just a new scam, and these guys will get rich off of it because what they know is that they know by putting it out there and saying non-copyright that every YouTuber is going to pick it up, every YouTuber is going to use it, and then in the future they can go in and say, haha, copyright claim. Then YouTube goes in and every single person who's used that song gets dinged, gets their money taken and given to the guy again from that day forward. But again, many people use their music in different, like me, in an intro and an outro, and it just sucks. So I can't use that music anymore. But I'm going to use it right now because this isn't monetizable anyway. It's just dirtbag. Now I do have to change it because now it shows on my thing like 84 videos have been copyrighted in the last couple of days. It's like, if it's not one thing, it's the other. See if there's anybody here in the YouTube chat that cares or is still here. What's up, guys? Let's see what we got here. Use an odd beat. He would be cool with it. It's a good idea, ODD. All right, maybe I'll do that. See here. Sorry, 2 messages in one. They run ads during your live streams. Yeah, okay, so that's already telling you that the money goes to somebody else. It's just ridiculous. It's not going to come to me. There is no creation ex nihilo. We live in a created realm. I don't know how anybody can argue with that. It's just ridiculous that you would argue with that. That's insane during the music. Okay, good. All right, I'm out of here. Much love to you guys. We'll see you tomorrow night for me and Brian. Sunday, Glowbusters, 12 noon Pacific. Get yourself the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. If you want to have Dave or myself appear on some podcast, you can reach out to Dave. All that is available at flatearthdave.com. Same place to get the app. Do everything from there. Gift the app, give it to a friend, tell a friend about it, download it if you don't have it. It's the easiest way to explain things to people, and it's the way around the censorship that you can just look at the featured video for every day for 2 weeks and then tell them, all right, now that you've done that, go to YouTube and try and find those videos, and they'll learn real quick that we are being gatekept. All right? Thank you, Stephanie, for being here 6 months. Much love for that. I appreciate it. Become a member if you could. It helps out a lot. Jay Dreamer's in the house? Where's Jay? Good guy. I got a copyright from some shady company for skating sharing Admiral Byrd's interview. Oh, I always get that stuff. Yeah, they just get claims that you're like, that's not even yours. I mean, I got claims against B.O.B.'s music from some company that's not even him. So, if you guys don't check out Jay Dreamers, check him out for sure. He's got some great content, and it's just fun to listen to, and it's a good guy. You can just tell a good person when you see one. And JJ Hempcrete Bear really supports the show, so go to jjscbdrub.com and get yourself some of that rub, especially if you've got injuries of the lower back or if your wife is complaining about her neck because she does a lot of neck activity. All right, much love to you guys. Appreciate it. Do your own research. When you do, you'll never again believe all the bullshit you've been taught. Here is maybe the last time that you'll ever hear the outro music. Tell them how. By some dirtbags who went and copyrighted it 3 years after they said, oh, take it for free. Go ahead. Hey, everybody can use it. Just go ahead. Put our name in it. Whatever. Till next time. Wait, maybe we'll play the Jaren song on the way out there. That sounds better, doesn't it? Should we play a Jaren song? At least I don't get the copyright that way. Because Steve McGroove is, wait, what's his name? I forgot his name. And people will never believe me. They always tell me I'm not being honest. That this song has nothing to do with me. This song was created way before I was on YouTube. Actually, is there a YouTube video for it? I don't even know. Now I'm trying to think. Oh no, it's just that green screen, isn't it? I don't even remember his name. Steve McCool? I don't know if that's the name or not. Let me see. It's spelled J-A-R-E-N. It's not even spelled the same as my name. I just wanted to see if it's on YouTube. Steve McCool. Here you can listen to music with extra more than. Is this him? No, it can't be him. Nope, doesn't look like it. It do not look like it. Let me make sure it's over here. If we've got it still. We might not. I don't know why it's not in my playlist. Oh, it's spelled like this. Is it not? Let's see if it comes up. And we'll search here too. Oh, there it is. Steve McQueen is the name. Steve McQueen. My bad. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Jeranism. Much love. Till next time. Peace.
I know this dude named Jaren and he's looking real fine. And no, I'm not a homo, but I gotta try to make him mine. Cause he holds all of the secrets that the ancients once kept. But the way to Jaren's heart is proving you have once leapt from a volcano or a cliff or an airplane into danger without fear, crying, screaming, waking babies in their mangers. He can smell your fear from 1,000 miles away. And if you try to deceive him, well, today's your last day. You can bet he doesn't want a coward or a liar coming up to him saying, can you be my friend? Maybe you can man it up and lay it down in front of him, show him you're strong enough to go out on a limb. He's got enough ladies lining up around the block to fill 747's loading number on the clock. A lot of men are crying every single day, praying for a Jaren day, but they can't afford the price to pay. All the women want him and all dudes want to be Jaren, but the fact of the matter is, there's only one Jaren. He's got an internet following that forms a giant group. He can translate ancient tablets using alphabet soup, which he rarely even does, though it fetches big money. He doesn't even need it cause he sweats pure honey. His fans send him gifts, make him gifs, jump off cliffs, just for the once-in-a-lifetime honor of seeing Jaren take a sip of his famous oat stew. That's right, he's a stew chef. You may say, what's a stew chef? Well, you've probably never seen a stew chef, cause there's only one stew chef, and it's Jaren cooking it up. He's known for only filling friends and family's cups with his decadent sludge that he boils all night, every night, all night, every night. It's out of sight. He can do a dance that makes everybody pee their beds and make a mess and cause stress. He's on a mission with the Jerry Berry Blitz and the Jerry Berry Twist. He's riling up the world. You can do the Jerry Berry Blitz and the Jerry Berry Twist. You can imitate the best just like the rest. Come on, Jaren, show the world what you got now. He's gonna show you his dance. He's gonna show you his skills, his dancing skills. Check him out, y'all. Jaren's powers grow with every fight, and every fight that he fights, he destroys his opponent and leaves a sticky mess on the ground. He wages war when provoked, and when provoked, he starts to smoke out of his butthole, and that's when you run away or die. Cities topple, buildings fall, mountains melt, and rivers stall when Jaren says so, cause he does what he wants when he wants. Sovereign nations all bow down when Jaren comes around. They know they can't match his skills, yeah, they've all heard this song. He's lived for thousands of years and caused innumerable tears and broken so many hearts, I just don't know where to start. His flow's unbreakable, swagger unshakable, his style's impeccable, and you can't do anything when he competes at Pizza Prize Bowl. Girls want to marry him, but a mate would only slow him down, and besides, you know that he would never ever share his crown. He's left everyone he's met depressed, torn up, and so forlorn. What's scary is you haven't even seen his final form.